All right, guys. What is going on? Are we live? Are we live? I see a lot of people in the chat. What is up, guys? Let's go. Can't even get to the bottom of the chat. Can you guys hear me? Drop a one if you can hear me. Want to make sure the audio is good. Yes, I don't see any ones. Oh, I see some ones. Now I see. I guess there's so many, it just overloaded the system. All right, awesome, cool. How you guys feeling today? You guys excited? Show of hands, how many of you guys are new here? How many of you guys have been on the channel for a while? How many of you guys have been in the audience longer than a month? We'll say longer than a month. Some new people, bunch of new people. We love that. Well, I got my espresso. I'm caffeinated. I hope you guys are caffeinated too, because we got a lot of stuff we're going to cover today. Get this mic situated. Cool. See more people rolling in. Give it another minute. We'll get started. I want you guys right now to type in the chat. What is it you hope to get out of today? What do you want to walk away with today that will deem this a success for you? Profitable strategy, a job. I want you to be able to quit your job and work for yourself. Consistency. These are all great. Let's go. Oh, I just saw my mic. The good mic isn't even connected. Give me 2 seconds, guys. You guys think I was going to have that regular audio? Hold on. See if this pops on. All right. How about now? Can you guys hear me well now? Should be a lot better. Check. Cool. Awesome, guys. Well, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people rolling in, but I know you guys are all here on time, so let's hop right into it. So my goal for you guys today is to instill this 3-step process that consistently allows me to find winning trades in 90 minutes daily. But first things first, I just want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your busy schedule to join me here today. Because at the end of the day, I am a huge Scrooge with my time. I only spend time that I really want to do things on. And more importantly, I value your guys' time because I know a lot of you guys are hopefully the same way, because time is the most important asset you can have. So I can promise you that the time that you spend on this call will be well spent and worth its weight in gold. Now, the information that I'm going to be sharing on this call has changed my life, changed hundreds of students' lives, and I hope that you are next. Now, I can tell you for a fact that this is going to be different than all other trading education that you've ever received. By the end of this call, you are going to understand that becoming a successful trader is not all that complicated. You're also going to understand why you haven't been able to become successful with your current approach, and you're going to figure out exactly how to correct this and implement a system for success. And most importantly, before we sign off, I'm going to reveal the tool that I've been using for the past 12 months that I have never shown publicly. And to say that I'm excited for this would be an understatement. This tool is so powerful because it helps you avoid losing streaks by filtering out the trades that you should never take. It helps you know exactly which markets to trade and which ones to sit out on, ends all the analysis paralysis that you get stuck on. It helps you size your positions. That way, you're able to maximize your risk to reward without overexposing your account. But before we get out to all that, I need to teach you guys the 3-step system. That way, you understand the foundation of why this tool is so powerful. If you're excited for that, go ahead and drop a comment in the chat. I see a lot of you guys saying full attention. I want you to put your phones up. Pay attention today, guys, because we're going to dive into everything. Let's go. You guys are ready. I love it. Man, I just want to give it up for you guys. I'd say out of all the different trading communities out there, I firmly believe that ours is the best. So again, I know I said it already, but I just want to express how much gratitude I have for you guys. It's just been a crazy ride all the way up to this point through all the journey. So let's go, guys. Hell yeah. Now, a lot of you guys who know me, I know there's a lot of new guys in the chat and girls, but for those who know me, you guys know that my life has had its ups and downs over the past 9 years. Not only did the information that I'm sharing with you today change my trajectory financially, it also saved my life. And I mean that quite literally. Because trading has allowed me to escape out of rough patches in my life and today give me a life that I would once have considered only a dream. And today I'm going to help you make the first step towards doing the same. So let's talk a little bit about how I got here. Now, I grew up in a good family. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I came up from nothing. Okay. It's not going to be one of those stories. We were upper middle class and life was stable. I played sports. My parents were great. Everything was good. And then 2008 hit. And watching my parents lose everything overnight, that was what changed me. It wasn't that I just came up from nothing from the beginning. It was having everything, but then losing it all. Because this is when I realized that the so-called American dream can be taken away from you at quite literally any moment. Now, how many of you guys have either been through something similar or seen it happen to people? Because it seems like with the times, this is consistently happening more and more and more to every generation. Now, after 2008 hit, I started to go down the wrong path. I made a lot of bad choices and was overall a troublesome kid. Smoking weed, getting in fights, wasn't the best model citizen there for a long time. And I didn't want this life. And I wanted so bad to do something more. I didn't want to just be another loser. And then in 2016, after trying a ton of different stuff, some things bad and some things good, I discovered trading. And that was when I realized at that moment, this was my way out. I knew as soon as I realized what trading meant and everything that came with it, I knew that that was what was for me and nothing else. And for years, I struggled. As you can see here, I even went into debt. As you can see, a debt collector, $6,400, $20,000. So things didn't start off too good. It's not the typical get rich quick. You see your favorite influencer in a Lamborghini, you learn it and get that. No, it didn't happen like that for me because that stuff's not real. I had to go through a lot. I blew a lot of accounts. I tried every single strategy out there, but literally nothing worked. And it was almost to a point where I didn't even believe success was possible. I told myself that all these people that were killing it, that this was all just a lie. But I knew deep down that that wasn't the truth. Now, eventually, my troublesome lifestyle did catch up with me. I was arrested on drug charges. And at this moment was when I realized that I was truly at rock bottom. I had a family to take care of. I had a life to live. I had so much potential. And I knew this deep down. And this was the point where I realized that I really needed to change because it's one thing to lose money, but to lose your freedom is a totally different ballgame. So I got out of all that. I started door dashing to try to fund my trading account. In between delivering hamburgers or whatever it was that I was picking up, whether it's steaks, hamburgers, milkshakes. I remember even going into CVS. I didn't even know DoorDash did that. And in between all of these trips, I would sit there and trade. I was smoking a vape at the time. I was just absolute rock bottom. But I was doing my best. I wanted to make it out of this. So I was studying, I was taking trades, I was journaling everything. I was trying to learn all my lessons and actually do this the right way and stop just being a gambler and actually start trading like a professional. I mean, I didn't even want to just change myself from a trading perspective. I wanted to change who I was because up until this point, I had been in so much trouble and I wasn't reaching my full potential. And I didn't just reinvent myself as a trader, I had to reinvent myself as a person. I can still remember these almost zodiac looking notes where I would just write, thank you for this. Thank you for things that I wanted. I didn't even have these things. Thank you for getting good rest. I didn't have good rest. Thank you for having motivation. I barely could even get out of bed in the morning, right? I definitely didn't have any money. I said, thank you for all the money that I have coming to me. But I did everything I could. I looked at it like, I'm at rock bottom now. I have to give this my all if I'm even going to have a chance. Now, at first, I could barely even afford much size on my trades. I was taking $200 wins, as you can see here, risking my entire account if this trade didn't work. Now, I'm not telling you this because you should do this. You definitely shouldn't. I'm just telling you this because this is exactly what I came from. And if I can come from this, then anybody can get to where I'm at by this same system. I always laugh when I look at this screenshot. You can kind of see me in the reflection here. It said, shoulda went heavier. Like I could have went heavier. I didn't even have any money. Shoulda went heavier in my ass. Now, after a while, I was finally able to start hitting better trades. I started getting $1,000 wins, another $1,000 win, another $1,000 win. And these started to stack up. And finally, I started to have what felt like my big break at the time. I was able to build my trading account up to $5,000. And I remember that $5,000 felt like $1 million to me at that point. To come from literally driving to deliver hamburgers, blowing my account, having to go deposit more money just to trade when I didn't even have money for anything else to this felt like I hit the lottery. And then I actually had my big break. I hit a 485% gain on that account, turned my $5,000 into $29,000. And from there, I finally had a cushion, finally had a little bit of breathing room. And I will never forget when that first withdrawal hit. Now, this is what made it real, because how many times have you made money in the markets and you didn't pull it out? And it's a bittersweet realization that a lot of traders come to, that you can make a lot of money on trades, but if you're not pulling profits out, if you're not getting payouts, then is that money even real? Or is it just numbers on a screen? And to this point, it wasn't real to me. And once it hit my bank account, once I was able to sell this crypto and put it in my bank, that was whenever I knew I was free. I would never work for someone else for another day in my entire life. I didn't care what I had to go through. I had tasted freedom, and you could not take it away from me. Now, my goal for you today is to walk away with everything you need in order to do the same. After this was whenever I discovered prop firms. Yes, I'm a dinosaur. A lot of you guys probably started trading since prop firms have been really popular. Maybe that's even why you started trading. And if you don't know what a prop firm is, we're going to explain all that. But once I discovered prop firms, I got funded pretty quickly because by this point, I had made all the mistakes and learned all of the lessons that there were to learn. I was ready for anything. Now, I almost didn't put this in here because I think this is so hilarious. But how many of you guys were with me when I was documenting the journey? Drop something in the chat if you were with me whenever I was documenting the journey from the beginning. Whenever I was posting those days where I was running at 5 a.m, I was doing the 75 hard, I was literally going through it. And I remember taking this picture and I was so proud. To me, it's just comical. Sitting there with my funded certificate. But from there, it was history. I got my first payout of $19,000, and then the profits kept coming. I started to have $2,000 days, $3,000 days, and more, and more, and more, and more. And what once didn't even feel real was now playing out right before my eyes. I was able to retire my parents. Yes, the same parents who lost everything in 2008. And I'll never forget the tears swelling in my eyes whenever I got this text from my mom. It really was one of those moments where things can move so fast. And then when it all hits you all at once, it can be overwhelming. And life didn't even feel real at this point. I also was able to propose to the woman who stuck with me through it all. And this was huge for me because even whenever I was down on my last, when I didn't believe in myself, whenever I couldn't even afford to take her anywhere nice, I'd have to take her to Cheddar's or something. And I could probably shouldn't even have been doing that because I didn't have the money. But she never complained. She never left. She never stopped believing. I mean, hell, she believed in me more than I did many times. But now I'm finally able to give her the world. And now I trade to live. I don't live to trade. Things have eased up a little bit. I'm not trading for ends meet. I'm not trying to fight my way out of survival. I like to look at it like I'm living my childhood dream. If you would have told me that I was able to travel the world, buy my dream cars, and do all that stuff when I was a kid, I probably wouldn't even have believed you. But there is one thing that's really important that I want to note. I did this after I took care of what actually matters. And I show you this not because I want your motivation to be supercars or material things. I want you to find the real why. Why are you doing this? That is what's actually important, guys. And the way I was able to do all of this was with the 3-step system that you're about to learn today. Now, I know for most of you guys that you understand the power that comes with being a successful trader. I mean, otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here. But I just want to re-emphasize that this is the highest leverage skill you could possibly possess today. In case you've been wondering why the masses have all developed this random burning desire to become a successful trader, it's because a few years ago, you needed hundreds of thousands of dollars to make any real money in trading. And this kept most people out of the markets. But the game changed when prop firms came about. Prop firms provide you with simulated accounts from $50,000 all the way to $1 million to trade with. And all you have to do is pass their evaluation by proving that you can trade profitably. And once you pass, you trade with their capital as if it was yours and keep 80 to 90% of the profits. In other words, you risk their money, not yours. Now, with $1 million in prop funding, each winning trade generates $20,000 in profit at just a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. Now, if you don't know what that means, we're going to get to it later whenever we walk through this all on the charts. I'm even going to trade a full week with you guys. But if you don't understand risk to reward, trust me, we're going to cover everything all today. With $250,000 of prop funding, though, each winning trade generates $5,000 in profit. Now, you might be thinking, well, that's a lot of prop funding. How do you get that? The crazy part is a $250K account only costs $150 to take the challenge, plus $400 if you pass. So the total investment is around $550, depending on the firm, for a $250,000 account. If you make just one profitable trade per week, just one trade, one and done with that $250K account, that's $5,000 per trade. After the prop firm takes their cut, you take home $4,000 to $4,500 per trade. That is a $16,000 to $18,000 per month potential profit, which you can scale this across multiple accounts. You don't have to do it with just one. There are trade copiers where you can link together 20 accounts or even more if you're trading with different firms and scale as much as you want to. Now, in what other industry can you potentially make this kind of money with only a few $100s at risk? And at the end of this class, by the way, I got the news from Apex. You guys might have saw me posting in the communities. I'm going to be giving away 20 funded accounts today to you guys, along with $1,000 to 3 of you as well. Now, other industries, such as starting an Amazon brand, well, this is going to cost 10 to 50 grand. And you got to rely on suppliers, manufacturers, and then Jeff Bezos changing the rules and taking out the biggest sellers on Amazon so they can sell the products for themselves. Starting a service business, I mean, let's be honest, just sucks. You have to rely on clients, employees, market conditions, all sorts of stuff. Real estate, now I say this one, it's great if you have massive capital. A lot of you guys may have even saw me earlier this week. I was bidding on a property while I was trading. So I'm not going to say real estate isn't great, but you do need hundreds of thousands of dollars in order to get in to anything real, and you're locked into long-term commitments. But trading, you have 100% control with minimal capital at risk. Freedom to work whenever and wherever you want, and you don't have to answer to anybody. That last one is personally my favorite. Now, right now, there is massive fear and uncertainty in the world. The biggest companies in the world are doing mass layoffs. How many of you guys have seen a company doing layoffs recently? There's been a ton. I just saw another one. I can't remember if it was Meta or Amazon or Google. I can't even remember which one. They've probably all done it by this point. Now, the reason they're doing this is because nobody really knows what's going to happen with AI. How many jobs is AI actually going to replace? How many of you in here right now, what your job is, could it be replaced with AI? Think about that. But listen, because I put all the time in and effort to become a successful trader, I'm not worried about that. I sleep well at night. I know that no matter what happens, I'm going to be able to provide for myself and my family. If I lost everything, you could throw me into the mud and I'm going to come out because I've done it before. And that is what the skill of trading can do for you. And that is what I want your guys' goal to be too, is not the cars, not any of that stuff. It's the skill that gives you freedom. Because once you have that, anything else is unlocked. Now, I was in your shoes at one point. I know that it may seem like everything is happy-go-lucky now, but whenever I started down the path of becoming a successful trader, I had the same doubts that many of you guys probably still have right now. I wondered if success was even possible, or if everything that I saw online was a lie. Like I was telling you earlier, I would sit there and try to convince myself that this all just must be fake. This couldn't be real, or I would have won by now. And I thought for sure that if any of these guys were actually going to tell the truth, then they had to know something that I didn't. I thought there had to be some secret, complicated strategy, some behind closed doors thing that I didn't have. And maybe it was a insider connection. Maybe it was 180 IQ, maybe some magic strategy. It had to be something. It had to be something. I always placed accountability on me not having whatever it was that was going to make me profitable. So don't just think that because I'm successful today, that this was always the case. Because for years, I was still hopping from strategy to strategy, buying courses, not even sure of how to put anything together. And as you can see here, I was blowing a ton of accounts. This is just back in 2021. And this was 5 years into my trading journey. So just think about that for a second. How many of you guys are 5 years into your journey? Drop it in the chat. Think about that. How many of you are 5 years into your journey? I went through this for 5 years. 5 whole years of failure. And this destroyed my confidence. I was just taking loss after loss after loss, buying a course, trying a new strategy, changing this, changing that. And I just got to a point where I had nothing left. And as a result of that, for years, I found myself switching up what I was doing, always convinced that the next advanced technique was going to finally make me profitable. And this is what you see a lot today. There's always some new thing and everybody jumps to it and then it dies off in a couple of months. And this is exactly what I did. I think everybody goes through it at some point. I mean, I wasted years chasing this complexity. And then finally, I was able to simplify my strategy into 3 steps that completely defied everything that I knew at the time. Because it was so simple, I thought to myself, there's no way this could actually work. And now, as I've refined my approach, I always do it towards simplicity, never towards complexity. It's always trying to remove or simplify, because truth be told, guys, you can be the best trader in the world, but if you have a checklist that's 10 things long and 20 different indicators and different things, you're not going to trade well. You're just not. That's not how good trading works. There's no way your brain can compute all of that at once and make good decisions. Now, I just sit down for 90 minutes or a lot of times less every day, and I deploy the same strategy that I'm going to teach you today. And it's allowed me to generate results like these consistently. Went from $87,000 to one at this point, I would have never even thought that I was going to get to this point. I mean, I remember that first $8,000 withdrawal. That didn't even feel real. It felt like I had hit the lottery. And then now, as you guys have seen earlier this week, sometimes I'll make multiples of that in a day. And I say that not to brag. I say that to motivate you guys. And this was that trade, if you guys aren't in the community, where I was able to catch 35K in one day. To come from where I was at to this was such a surreal moment. I remember whenever I was posting all this and just thinking back at everything I'd been through, it was just like, again, it's one of those full circle moments. And I want all of you guys to be able to experience that same feeling. But whenever I was unprofitable, I had a misconception that delayed this feeling for a very long time. I always thought the same thing that most of you guys are probably still thinking, is that what I was doing wasn't working. So I needed a better strategy, which what does a better strategy really mean half the time? A new, more complicated one, a shiny object, right? And this is the same approach that people have with a lot of things. I'll give you an example with fitness. People think, oh, well, I'm not shredded yet. It's not working. So I got to go to this fancy workout or fad diet or do some crazy challenge. Look, I am speaking from experience with this one. I've done it all. I've done keto. I've done carnivore. I've done all sorts of different stuff, right? And in reality, everybody knows that if you actually want to get results, getting in shape is really simple. You just eat less food and you work out. Mind blowing, right? It's crazy. But I think a lot of times people don't want to go head on into what they actually need to do. And that's why everybody gets caught up with all these fad routines, whether it's in trading, whether it's in fitness, it doesn't matter. It's the same reason that people fail in many different walks of life. Now, the reason why is because trading has gotten very popular in the last 5 years. And this is why this happens so often in trading. Now, when so many people now are posting content in the same industry, people need to start creating these new strategies to stand out from the pack. I mean, how many ridiculous ones have we seen? I mean, we've seen everything from candle counting to moon cycles we've seen it all at this point. I don't know about you guys. I've been in this industry for a long time. Drop the craziest strategy that you've ever seen in the chat. I'm interested to see if there's anything crazier than the moon cycles. So, what happens now is all these gurus that have jumped into this big rush, this gold rush in trading from prop firms, they're just trying to create the new shiny strategy. That way they can stand out. And what this does is after dozens and dozens of people continue to add on to the last one and overcomplicate what was meant to be simple, people start to only hear all these complicated strategies and they forget all the basics. And then they go down this painful path of losses where they're hurting their confidence, feeling like they're not good enough, when in reality, the strategies that they're using don't work. You see, let me set the record straight, guys. Trading is not meant to be complicated. It is meant to be simple. And the hard part about it is just staying consistent with a simple plan. Because once you learn a simple strategy, that's fine, but can you execute it day in and day out and have confidence to do so? Now, that is the truth. And whether you realize it or not, I know as soon as I say that, a lot of you guys, it hits home because you know deep down that this is true. And if not, then you're going to understand why very shortly. So trust me, when you watch me run through this simple 3-step strategy that we're going to go over, you're going to be absolutely mind blown because of how simple it is. And yes, this strategy can work for you no matter how much experience you have, how much capital you're starting with, what you currently struggle with right now. And we're going to even go over all of those common mistakes that I know a lot of you guys are making just because of the comments that I see on YouTube or on social media. That way I can help you guys shortcut all of those losses and all of those mistakes and get on the right track. Now, here is what some students have done with this strategy. Take a look at Jaden. Now, some of you guys may have seen Jaden because he's actually making content now. He's on YouTube. He started an Instagram. But rewind back to April of 2024, you can see right here, he was literally unaware of how the prop firm process worked. And he was at a loss of $80,000 trading options before joining. He had no clear strategy, had no idea of his data, had no idea how prop firms worked. Fast forward just to December of 2024. He was able to make $270,000 in profit. And he did this by trading 250K in funded accounts. They were 550K Top Step accounts. You guys may have seen this journey if you've seen the vlogs I've done with him. I actually flew him out after this because I was so excited for him. But he did this not by adding a bunch of complexity. He did this by having a very clear and consistent trading strategy. Jasmine went from a total beginner to making $36,000, and not only that, being number one on the Top Step leaderboard, which is pretty cool if you ask me. And this is where she was new and didn't even know what strategies we were going to use or anything. That was in August of 2024. And then in December of 2024, she was able to make $36,000. Then Yasser, who was able to make $27,000 using this exact same strategy using Apex accounts. Now, this isn't going to be what you've just seen on YouTube, guys. We are going to go way more in depth today. And I'm going to be uncovering things that I have never spoken about publicly. So I want to ask you guys, How long have you been trying to become a successful trader? Is it a few weeks, a few months, around a year, longer than a year? Comment your answer in the chat. I'm interested to see where you guys are at experience wise. And plus, I got to get some water. I'm dehydrated after that espresso. I see a lot of 2s and 4s. It seems like there's no in the middle. We have a couple 1s. Nice. Well, you guys are lucky. Everybody tell the 1s how lucky they are that they found this early in their journey. Some not at all. I see Klaus said not at all. Wow. Well, I'm honored. Now, another question I have for you guys, because I want to know a little bit more about you. How much trading education have you gone through before? Barely anything at all? You've been consuming content for a couple weeks, couple months, or for over a year or more? How long since you actually started really watching trading content, trying to learn strategies, and this all this whole space, this internet money trading space? It's kind of wild how big it's gotten on social media. A lot of people that have been trading for a long time. I love that. Cool. It's cool to see because from my angle, I always wonder. I'm talking to a camera a lot of time, talking to hundreds of thousands of you guys, and it's really cool to be able to interact. So again, guys, I just want to say thank you. I know that I'm getting lovey-dovey on you, huh? I'm saying thank you a lot, but I really do appreciate you guys for coming up. Now, this one might feel a little personal, but I really want to know, what's your why? So if you're comfortable sharing, why do you want to become a successful trader? What impact are you trying to make? And don't you dare say a car, something. What feeling does the car give you? Like, you always have to ask yourself, what is the feeling you're after? Is it the feeling of accomplishment from taking care of your family? Is it the feeling of freedom from escaping the life that you don't want to live? Is it the feeling of transformation from becoming a new person? What is it? What is it for you guys? I love it. Freedom and family. So now I want to ask you guys, what is your biggest struggle that is keeping you from that goal? Especially for you guys who've been trading for longer than a year. What is it that has kept you from that to this point? Is it consistency? Is it discipline? Is it not having a solid strategy? Or is it something else? I want you to drop it in the chat. This is my favorite part. Just seeing everything, scrolling through all these, putting faces to names, and just, again, it's kind of wild. Whenever you start to really put into perspective how many people watch the content. I was looking the other day, and it's like, I think it's around 70,000 people in a football stadium. And a lot of these views are, getting hundreds of thousands of views. Some are getting millions of views. How many people that's impacting is wild. And I never get to really understand, what it is that drives them. So I love to see this. I love to see this stuff. No solid strategy, consistency, overthinking. Yeah, that's a big one. That is a big one. That was me too. Overthinking, I think, is the sign of a smart person. I think smart people overthink. And once you overcome it, though, you are able to unlock your true smarts. Now, I want to ask you one last question. Are you the type of person who learns trading strategies and buys courses and watches YouTube videos only to jump to the next shiny object whenever things get hard? And maybe you don't even want to put this one in the chat. I don't know. Or are you the type of person that is ready to commit to one proven system and see it through to consistency and success? If you're the first type, it's okay. Most traders are trapped in that cycle. I know that I was for a very long time. But after today, that pattern ends for good. So as long as you commit to staying with me until the end, what I'm going to show you isn't just a strategy. It is a complete system, and the most important details in this come after the 3 simple steps. Because as you guys know, consistency and execution is the most important element to having any strategy. So drop a yes in the chat if you're into committing all the way through to the end. No distractions, no scrolling on TikTok, none of that bullshit today, guys. Drop a yes in the chat if you're ready. Man, the amount of comments coming through, this hypes me up. Let's go. How you guys feeling? How you guys feeling? You excited? So, last thing before we get into this. In this live class, I'm going to give you a full-blown masterclass when it comes to everything that I wish I would have known whenever I started trading 9 years ago. And with the intention of helping you become a successful trader as quickly as humanly possible. I'm not going to tell you you're going to get rich overnight, but I will tell you that I can help you avoid a lot of the mistakes that caused me to take years to get to where I'm at. Now, with that being said, I understand that there is a small minority of you on this call who want to make an even more serious move than just attending a free call. So at the end of this call, I'm going to present you guys an opportunity to work directly with me for just the select few of you that are insanely serious about seeing success. If that sounds fair, comment yes. Go ahead and let me know now. And at the end, I'm also going to be doing a $3,000 cash giveaway, $1,000 to 3 of you guys, and giving away 20 prop firm accounts. Without any further delay, let's get into why you guys are all here, the training. So first, we need to go over the fundamentals. And I know some of you guys, a lot of you guys have traded for longer than a year, and you guys want to see me share my screen and watch the chart and all that. And we're going to get to that. I'm going to literally trade with you guys over a whole week and teach you guys secrets that I've never released before about my strategy. But none of that is going to do any good if you don't first understand the real fundamentals of why this approach even works. So give me 5 more minutes before we get into the nitty-gritty. I want to ask you guys a question. When you think of a successful trader, what do you see visually? Do you see 10 different charts, 10 different indicators, and a shell of a man has been staring at his screen for hours? I know for me, I always pictured this kind of like Wall Street guy, like 10 screens. You know, it's like you're in the control room. He's sitting there looking all crazy. That was what I always thought. And I was shocked whenever I realized what actually works is far different than that. It's kind of comical, actually, looking back to my younger self and what I thought then versus reality. Like I said earlier, guys, just like anything else in life, simplicity is success. And that's why those of you who have been tuning into my channel even watch me in the first place, because I break things down in an easy to digest way without any of the overcomplicated nonsense. Now, the reason for this is that you need an approach that not only works today and not only works in one trade or one instance, you want something that also works 5 years from now, that you can execute every single day, which means that it has to be simple enough for you to actually stick to it. Just like a diet, just like a training routine, if it's not simple, if it's not sustainable, you're likely not going to stick to it. How many of you guys have tried to get into too much of a complicated strategy or too much of an optimized routine, and it always fails? We all know how that goes. You get excited and motivated at first, and then it dies off and it never lasts. And this is exactly how complicated trading strategies are, because they might work for a week and maybe even longer. But if you can't stay disciplined and follow it for months or for years, your success is going to be short-lived. And a lot of you guys, the reason you can't stay disciplined with these strategies isn't a you thing. It's not your fault. It's that what you're trying to stay disciplined to is too conflicting. There's 100 different things on the chart, different what ifs that ruin your strategy and cause you to go down losing streaks. And then you know, some mentor gaslights you and tells you it's trading psychology. How many of you guys have been through that one? I remember when that happened to me all the time. So, you know, something else that happened to me that was really eye-opening whenever I started helping people become successful traders, because you get to see it from so many different perspectives other than your own, was that oftentimes the people who were complete beginners would often see success much quicker than the, you know, intermediate or even self-proclaimed expert traders. And why is that? Because the beginners really have no bad habits to unlearn. And it's like the saying, teaching a dog old new tricks. It's a little different because I won't say you can't, you definitely can, but it's definitely a lot harder. Now they'll see this three-step process and think, okay, that makes sense. And a beginner is going to stay on that and say, cool, I'm going to stay consistent with this. But, whenever an experienced trader sees it and they've had years of bad habits, years of these gurus telling them that their strategy's got to be complicated to work. They've got to learn more. They've got to fix their mentality, all this stuff. All this is compounded. And they can't even believe that something so simple is the missing piece for them. So these people need to actually be more accountable or held more accountable than beginners, which was mind-blowing to me because I always thought that experience and time in the market and the amount of knowledge you had attributed to how good you were at trading. And it was eye-opening to realize that, in fact, it was the opposite, the other way around. Now, beyond this, here are some of the fatal mistakes that keep unprofitable traders unprofitable. Number one is strategy hopping. Now, how many of you guys have folders full of PDFs and courses and systems that you tried for a week and they're all just now in this graveyard on your computer? How many of you guys have been through that? I know that I have. I see Tony. What did he say right here? I said he made, where was it? I just lost it. A flurry of comments come in. Said he made $500 or something. I don't know if what he's trading. Savage. Yes, 4 many times. I like that. Too many times. Now, I want you to think of it like this. Jumping from strategy to strategy is just like job hopping every 2 weeks. You have to stick with and really make sure an opportunity works and then just keep doing the same thing over and over again. It's really not that complicated. Why is this so hard? Why do you guys think it's so hard to stop hopping to a new strategy? Now, the next mistake is something that I firmly believe every single trader goes through, and most of you are probably still going through it right now. And this is information overload. And this was probably the worst one for me because I never really had like a fear of executing or a fear of taking risk. I wasn't one of those, but I did have the fear of being wrong. Not because of money, but because I felt like there was always something conflicting. Like if I had one type of analysis telling me to do one thing, I just thought, oh, okay, well then there's this other level, this other fair value gap or whatever strategy you use that's telling me that it won't work. And you see this a lot whenever people will post analysis on Twitter and then somebody else can post another fair value gap and everybody can make their own case. And if you pay attention to everything, you're never going to be profitable. You're going to stay drowning in different YouTube videos, different Discord groups. You're just getting assaulted with notifications from all these different gurus, from all this different stuff to where you don't even know what you're doing anymore. Like how many of you guys right now, and be honest, can literally write down your trading strategy? Not some crazy random process like, oh, I look at the high time frames, then I look at that's not a strategy. An actual set of rules that is clear cut that you can go over every single day. How many of you guys have that? Now, everybody, again, everybody uses different strategies. Some people say one strategy is good. The other person says it's garbage. Somebody says this doesn't work. Then you see someone making money with it. And here's what you have to realize. The problem isn't that you don't know enough. It's that you actually consume too much. You don't need to master every single strategy or concept or learn everything under the sun in order to be successful. And in fact, the attempt to do this is what is keeping you unprofitable. Now, number 3 is trading fearfully. And this one is something that I've seen so much after working with other traders and something that I struggle with myself. And like I said, I was always so scared, not even for the money, but to be wrong, to blow that account again, to get those emails that I showed you earlier. And I, even to this day, when I look at those emails, it's bittersweet. It's a moment of motivation, but I also remember the trauma from doing that. The trauma from being up all night, doing these things that I said I wasn't going to do, hitting that button again and again and again, and then turning around to the people that I love, that I told I was trading, that I told I was trying my all, and telling them that things were going good. And knowing that I was just still making the same mistakes. And it got to the point where every single trade I was taking, I just felt like I was walking on a tightrope. I almost wanted to hide my trading screen when people came around. I tried to hide it because I was so ashamed of why the hell couldn't I control myself? Why couldn't I stop making these mistakes? And it was all to do with fear. Because whenever you are afraid, you start to trigger this fight or flight response where you become stupid. You literally become stupid. You're not yourself anymore. You get in your head, and all of a sudden, you can't even pull the trigger because you're so fucking terrified of making a mistake. And adding more, shocker, is only going to make it worse. Okay. The only way to fix this is by having a simple system that completely removes your fear, because you're not unclear on what to do. You have a clear-cut set of rules. You show up, do this, and you walk away. When you don't have that, you give yourself a lot of room to make these fatal mistakes. Now, the fourth fatal mistake is what I like to call the execution gap. And this is usually the last one that you have to fill before you finally achieve freedom as a trader. Now, I've talked to so many students, and they all say, I know how to spot perfect setups in hindsight, but then I freeze up in real time. Or maybe you know how to spot it in demo or on a small prop firm account, for those of you guys who are experienced, but then you can't trade it as soon as there's real money on the line. Or the classic, here it comes. I know you guys are waiting for this. You trade great in the challenge, you get funded, and it's like you forget your name. You forget everything. It's like the Men in Black just like memory wiped you. How many of you guys have been through that one? You know what you got to do, but then it appears and you hesitate. It's literally like your memory's gone. And by the time that you finally act, that you realize there was an opportunity, it's gone. And either you miss it, or even worse, you just start taking trades and you go on tilt. You spiral. You start making those fatal mistakes where you end up looking at your screen and you get away from your trading screen and you're almost shell shocked. How many of you guys have got off of the screens after you've done something stupid and it's almost like you woke up? I know that happened to me a lot in my come up. But this is very similar to the last point. Having a simpler approach will make it so much easier to execute. And if you can't tell already that all of these four mistakes, strategy hopping, information overload, trading fearfully, the execution gap, all of this, whenever you struggle with it, and whichever one you struggle with the most, I want you to drop in the chat. But all of this can come together by having a simple process. Because when you have a simple, clear-cut, repeatable thing that you do every single day, it becomes like muscle memory. So luckily for you guys, I have a simple 3-step process that neutralizes all of these fatal mistakes. And ultimately, this is what has allowed me to consistently find winning trades for years. So let's go ahead and get right into it. Now, some of you guys are brand new, but a lot of you guys are here from YouTube, and you're probably thinking, well, the guys that are brand new, you're probably thinking, I've tried trading strategies before. What's different about this one? Why is this anything new? And that's a fair question. So let me show you what we're covering today. Now, the first step is the first candle rule. Now, if you know it, this is going to be just a quick refresher, but if you're new, this is your foundation. You already know step one. For those of you who have been here for a while, I'm not going to pretend you don't. Knowing the strategy, though, is only 33% of the equation. The other 67%, that is what I've never shown publicly. Knowing what to do is what you guys have if you've been watching the channel. You guys have the basic core amount of the strategy. But actually making money doing it, this is what you're missing. And if you already know step one, if you already know the first candle rule strategy, then you're ahead of the game. But if you think that's all there is, then you are about to find out exactly why you haven't been profitable yet. Now, you guys see me catching big wins like this. This was the one from earlier this week. And you see a lot of my members in my communities doing the same. And you're probably wondering, how is he catching trades this big? There wasn't even that setup today. Why is he holding it for longer? Why is he up in size? How many of you guys have gone through that? How many of you guys have watched the videos? You see the strategy, you watch it, you put it on your screen, and you're looking at me winning, and you're wondering, how does he do that? What is different? What is he doing differently? That's probably the most common question I get. And in fact, that was why I was so inspired to put this together, because I knew that I'd open up a can of worms teaching you guys the base level strategy. Now you guys got a taste of how well it works after I've seen so many of you guys crush it. For those of you who are crushing it with the first candle already, drop it in the chat. But I saw so many people doing good, but realizing the level that they could take it if they knew what I'm going to share with you guys today. That is why I put this training together for you all. So step 1 shows you what to trade. But step 2, well, step 2 is how to execute it for maximum profit. And this is what separates these $500 a week traders from the $5,000 a week traders. And even if you already know step 1, I can guarantee you have never seen step 2 taught publicly before. I have never released this online. I have never posted this on social media. I've never even talked to any of you guys about it. So there's zero chance that you've ever seen this before. And what I'm going to show you is going to absolutely blow your mind and make you rethink the markets in full. Now, step 2 is the execution secrets. I've never taught this at all, okay? Even my YouTube viewers who know the first candle rule have never seen this. And to prove to you guys just how powerful it is, I'm going to show it to you applied over the last week of trading. Yes, we are going to trade it together live on the chart. That way you can learn by doing and not just a bunch of slideshows, because as important this stuff is, we all know that in order to learn a skill, you have to learn by doing. How many times have you guys just watched a bunch of videos, watched a bunch of content, maybe been through a course, and you just wanted to sit there and see it done? Because whenever the candles start printing, it's a lot different game than a slideshow. And we all know that. How many of you guys have gone through that before? I see risk management. We're going to get to that. We're going to get to all that. Trust, guys. Trust. Let's fucking go, guys. I'm fucking hype. Now, step 3 is the system. Now, this is what my students pay $6,800 to access, but you guys today are going to learn it for free. Now, it answers the questions that kill most traders. Should I even trade today? Which market or stock should I focus on? Is this setup a trap or is it a good setup? Where do I take profits? Do I size up? Do I size down? Do I just sit out and not trade today? And at the end, I'm going to reveal the tool that I've been using for 12 months that no one has ever seen. Now, what I'm about to show you will challenge what you think you know. You might think trading is complicated. Well, guess what? It's not. You might think you need 10 different indicators, but in reality, you need 0. You might think that you need to watch charts all day long. Some of you guys are even trading in here, which you should be paying attention to here. But all you need is 90 minutes max. Now, I want to be clear that if you're attached to complexity, if you're one of those people that loves the crazy, all that stuff, this probably isn't for you. Okay, this is probably going to make you feel a lot uncomfortable. But if you're ready to let go of what is not working, then you are in the right place. What I'm about to show you in steps 2 and 3, I have never taught this complete system before. I cannot emphasize enough how powerful this is going to be. And after this class, it goes back into the vault for good. So if you're thinking about multitasking or checking your phone, I probably should have added trading. I see some guys in the chat trading. If you're thinking about doing any of that, don't, okay? Let's go ahead and hop right into it. Step 1, the first candle rule. The first candle rule is very simple. It states that all you need is the first candle of the day. You get in and out of the markets in 90 minutes or less. You don't use any indicators or any complicated analysis. That's it. This candle gives you your levels to trade from. It gives you your entry, your take profit, your stop loss, all of that. And in a few minutes, we are going to trade it over the whole week together. There were multiple opportunities this past week, literally this last week, that you could have caught. And we're going to go through them all. But first, let me explain why this works. When the market opens at 9:30 a.m., everyone is placing orders. Retail traders, institutions, algorithms, all of these market orders are placing as soon as the markets open. So more buyers and sellers are positioned here in this first candle than anywhere else. And this is where the most money changes hands. Now, here is what makes this powerful. Everyone who bought in that first candle, they're going to be in the red if we hit the low. And everyone who sold in that first candle will be in the red if we hit the high. And when price breaks through one of these levels, the losing side is going to exit their positions. This is what creates a big move in the market. Now, how many of you guys think that a bunch of people buying makes the market move up, or a bunch of people selling is the only thing that can make the market move down? How many of you guys thought that up until today? I'm sure there's some of you guys who had even been trading for a year that didn't know that. I didn't know this for years of trading. It's crazy to me that I didn't even know the fundamentals of why I was trying to do things. And whenever you know the fundamentals, you gain a new level of conviction. If you don't have a deep understanding and expertise of something, you're not going to have max level conviction. So some of you guys knew, some of you guys didn't. Now, some of you guys, or maybe all of you guys by this point, are wondering, well, wait, why is this even important anyways? Why would I care where people are wrong? I just want to be right. And this brings me to one of my favorite quotes of all time. If you know where the most amount of people will be wrong, you will make a very fine, a mighty fine trader. Now, this is from my mentor who now runs a hedge fund managing billions of dollars. And it took me years to understand what he meant. And these theoretical pieces of advice, I used to hate these. I used to hate when somebody would say this almost like Yoda, Jedi style stuff. I'd say, man, he's full of shit. Doesn't mean anything. But years later, I realized that this was the missing piece to my trading. And understanding this and being able to apply it tactically was what changed my trading career forever. It was right under my nose the whole time. And today I'm going to show you guys how to actually implement this and not just leave you with a theoretical quote like he did. That way you can avoid all the years of mistakes that I had to make in order to come up with what I'm going to teach you guys today. So why do we want to be on the right side of the market? Well, I want you guys to realize that when losing traders are exiting positions and they're on the wrong side of the market, if the market is hitting a level where they're wrong, their stop loss, they're going to say, cool, I'm out, right? Now, like, let's say if the losing traders are all buyers and we hit into the low of the candle. Well, this is going to create a lot of selling pressure. So it's almost like a double attack, right? If there's a lot of buyers getting out of the market and there's sellers entering the market, that is going to create a very rapid move. And these are the kind of moves that can help us move the market fast. We know who is in control of the market, and we let the losing side exit and push the markets in our favor. When we see this breakout of this level, we can see who is in control, whether it's buyers or sellers. And of course, we're going to trade with the winning side. We let the losing side exit and push the market in our favor. But there is a very specific type of break that we need to confirm this is actually real. Because as you guys hopefully have realized by now, no or not every breakout is a real breakout. Some, and actually I would venture to say a lot, are fake outs. And understanding this is what separates winners from losers. Now, some of you guys have already known a fair value gap. So I know there's eye rollers. It's kind of funny. I get a lot of comments on this because a lot of people already know this, but some people don't. So a fair value gap is very simple. It's just when price moves so fast that it leaves a gap between this candle's wick. See this wick right here, that line? There's a gap that's this shaded area between this candle's wick, and it takes that middle expansive candle. Now, this is just a sign of strong momentum, okay? Shows that buyers are in control if we're having one of these through the high, or sellers would be in control if we're having one of these through the low of that first candle. And this is how we confirm that the move is likely to be real. Now, this is what you want to look for whenever you see the breakout. Now, once you get a fair value gap outside the first candle's high or low, this confirms the direction of the market. And now you can look for an entry. But there are a couple different ways you can enter. And knowing which way to trade alone, and even having an entry isn't enough. You need to know where to exit. You need to know when to sit out, when to hold longer. And that is what you're going to learn in the execution step. Now, as we all know, the best way to learn is by doing. Now, I could break this down with a bunch more diagrams. I personally hate diagrams. I just do them to kind of keep you guys on pace. This is going to be my favorite part up to this point. Now, the best way to learn, as we all know, is to actually do, to actually get on the chart. So let's go ahead and do this together. Let me go ahead and get my screen share set up so I can have all this good. Is this going to work? me make sure. It's been a while since my streaming days. How many of you guys remember whenever I used to stream? Let me get this up. Now, how many of you guys are ready for this? How many of you guys excited for the chart stuff? Cool. Let's start. So, step one of the first candle rule is we're going to wait until 9:30. Now, all the times that I'm going over right now are in Eastern Standard Time. For whatever reason, that's one of the most common questions I get. It is 3 p.m. right now, Eastern Standard Time. Okay. So, Eastern Standard Time is always the time you use. Now, we're going to wait until 9:30. So, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fast forward this 2 candles. So, we have our 9:30 candle. Now, on this chart right now, what you're looking at is a 5-minute time frame. And I know some of you guys know the 15-minute, some of you guys know the 5-minute. We're going to get to it. But just for now, stick with me. So we have the first 5-minute candle. Now, once this candle closes, what you're going to do is you're going to go over here on TradingView and you're going to select this trend line tool. If you have a Mac, you hit Command and it'll anchor to the high. You draw this line out, anchor to the low, and you draw this line out. And that's literally it to find your trading levels. Notice how I didn't cycle through 25 time frames or do anything complicated. I literally just looked at this candle. Now, for how many of you guys are brand new? How many of you guys think you can do that? I love seeing you guys recite the normal intro to videos. That's hilarious. So now the next step, after we start out, we're on the 5-minute time frame. Now this is on NASDAQ. This works on any market that has volume, okay? Don't go try to use it on, fart coin, meme coins, okay? But you can use this on NQ, gold, euro, ES, YM. Just please no Solana meme coins. I've literally seen people comment that. I'm not kidding, like Peanut and stuff. Anyways, so we are going to go to the 1-minute time frame. After you've marked out these levels, you're going to go to the 1-minute time frame. And at this time, we are going to wait for a break. Now, this right here doesn't count. This little wick, little wick does not count, okay? None of that matters at all. That is not showing what we want to see. That's not showing a big force in the market. So we always want to wait and make sure we are very patient and wait for a good break. Now, a lot of you guys are like, cool, we got the break. But you'd be wrong. Remember, we need a fair value gap, not just a candle close. We have to have a fair value gap, okay? So as you can see right here, as soon as this candle closes, you are good to enter the trade because we have our fair value gap right here that has been formed. It's formed through the low of the first candle. So at this time, we are going to be able to enter our trade. Now, I know a lot of you guys on YouTube have seen the 15 minutes, seen all the different stuff. We're going to get to that. I see a lot of questions on that. But at this time, you would enter the market. Now, what I just did to walk you guys through who are total beginners, you go over here, and this is literally how you trade. It's this easy. A lot of people think that trading's so hard and complicated, like all the softwares. It's so easy. So you just go over here, click this. Now, since we're selling, that means shorting. You guys have probably heard of the movie The Big Short, the guy who made money off the market crashing. Okay. So after you have this confirmation, so we'll walk back through it really quick. You've marked out the first 5-minute candles high and low. You wait for a fair value gap to form through the low. Now, as you can see, we have this fair value gap through the low. Okay. Only one of these 3 candles has to close outside the range. As you can see, 2 of them did. At that time, you've confirmed your entry. So you're going to go over here, and since we broke through the low, you're going to short. So you can go ahead, you place your trade there, and then for your stop loss, you're going to put it at fair value gap candle 1. Okay. So if this right here, that first candle, second candle, third candle, okay? The fair value gap's a 3-candle pattern. A lot of people think it's just the middle candle. You have to have the first candle to have the gap, okay? So we're going to take our stop loss and we're going to place it right there at fair value gap candle number 1. Now, for our target, in this example, I'm going to show you a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. But with one of the secrets that I'm going to show you guys are going to see how I'm catching a lot of these biggest winning days. So fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward, all this means is you're taking this tool and you're dragging it out so that it's 2 times the distance of your stop loss to your target, okay? So as you can see, it's 36 points to our stop, 72 points to our target. And at this time, you can literally go ahead and enter the market. And this is exactly how you would do it if you were actually trading and had your broker linked up to TradingView. You just click sell, enter at market. You would put your stop loss right there at that level, and you put your take profit, which is where we want to get out for a profit, down there at that 2-to-1. So this level is where we want to get out of the market if we're wrong, because not everything has a 100% win rate, guys. Don't not trying to tell you that everything is going to win every single time. So we always have to have a stop loss. But whenever we put our target down here, you just want to make sure that it's 2 times the distance away. And at this time, you literally sit back and let the market do its thing. And as you can see, this was just this week. Look at the date at the bottom. This is 11/12/2025, literally the other day. And this trade took about 6 minutes to hit its target. So $1,400 in 6 minutes is not that bad of a workday, if you ask me. Now, I want to ask, how many of you guys that have been watching these strategies caught this trade? Some of you guys from YouTube already know this basic part of the setup. Now, we're going to get into the secrets here in a minute, but how many of you guys caught this trade? So again, we'll recap really quickly, and then we're going to run through the rest of the week. We marked out the first 5-minute candle that happened at 9:30. We marked out the high and the low. Those are our trading levels. We then go to the 1 minute. We want to see a fair value gap form through that range. Here's the range that we just had marked out. This level is it. Then we see the fair value gap form through that range. At that time, we're good to enter the market. We entered, put our stop loss, take profit, let the market do the heavy lifting for you. Not that complicated. Doesn't take 20 monitors to do. I'm not sitting here looking at my Bloomberg terminal or any of that. Stupid simple, okay? So now let's go ahead and go to the next trading day, because one day is cool, but we want to trade this over a couple days. So as you can see, this is Wednesday. We're going to go over to the next day at the right time. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Boom. Now we want to wait till 9:30. It's very important to wait till 9:30. The fair value gap alone isn't going to be great for you to just use every fair value gap or use random candles. It's really important to wait for the right candle, okay? And the benefit of this is you know exactly what time you need to be at your desk. You don't have to sit there all day. You don't have to spend hours all day watching the markets or doing prep and analysis. You literally just hop on, and it's that easy. So right here, we have the 9:30 candle. You're then going to take this, mark out the high, mark out the low. Same thing every single day. After this, you're going to just wait to see when we have a fair value gap outside of the range. Now, here's one where a lot of you guys get wrong. How many of you guys would have waited for this candle? Here's one of the common mistakes. So I want you guys to pay very, very close attention. Notice how we had 2 fair value gaps. How many of you guys would have traded this one? Drop a 1 if you would have traded this one. Drop a 2 if you would have traded when this one was created. And I see a lot of you guys asking about engulfing or 15. Trust me, you're going to have a way to filter between them. It's all the same strategy. They're just different little tweaks that you guys are going to learn today. So I see a lot of 2s, a lot of 1s. Seems pretty easy. Man, I trained you guys good. I trained you guys good. It's because 2 would have been correct. If you waited till here, you waited too long, because look right here. This confirmed a fair value gap outside of the range. Okay. So at this time, you enter the market, you get into the market with your stop loss at that candle's high. Okay. put this in the right spot. And then you're going to go to a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. So you're going to sell, put your stop loss, put your take profit. And as you can see on this trade, you've got $1,100 at risk to make $2,300. And then you just sit back and you let the market do the heavy lifting for you. As you can see, the market ran pretty much straight to the target with minimal drawdown. Now, from the time that you executed this trade, you had 10 minutes total trading time. So now let's move to the next day. And this next day is where I'm going to show you one of the secrets that is going to help you guys get way more out of these trades. This is where you guys are wondering, like, how did you get that trade? How did you find this? How did you find that? I get that question so much. And this is going to be such a wow factor for so many of you guys who have been on YouTube, who've learned this strategy before. And those of you who are learning the strategy to start with right now, you guys are in for a treat because this is never something I've talked about publicly. So if we go to the next day, as you can see, it's literally the next day, right? I'm literally doing 3 days in a row. So if we go to 9:30, right here, we're going to mark out that first candle's high and that first candle's low. Same stuff. You're going to then go into your 1 minute time frame because remember you start on the 5. Then we are going to wait for a move out. And as you can see, we've got a fair value gap. And you're going to put your stop right here. And then we're going to put our target at 2-to-1. Now I'm going to show you an interesting thing that you're probably looking at right now and you're missing. So I want you to just kind of mentally screenshot what you're looking at and see if you guys catch it. So at this time, since we broke through the high, we formed our fair value gap right here. We'd actually enter on this candle because we formed the fair value gap. Let me go back one so I don't. So as you can see, as soon as that candle closes, we've got our fair value gap right here. Now I'll give you a clue. I want you to look at the 3 candles in the fair value gap. One of the secrets, just one of the secrets you're going to learn today is in there. So at this time, you take your stop, you put it right there. You've got your fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. You're going to hit buy, move down your limits and everything, same as always. Now this trade, if you're taking on a smaller account, you could have taken on micros. As you can see, there's $2,800 at risk on this, but you could have just taken this on micros and cut down the risk. And we'll get overall to that and into some other curriculum later. But on this trade, you've entered, you sit back, let the market do its thing. This is the 3rd day in a row, guys. I'm literally showing you this like from not cherry-picked examples. I've planned this this whole live class out for a very long time. And I couldn't have predicted what the market was going to do this week. So I literally purposefully picked examples from this week to show you guys how powerful this strategy is. And more importantly, how powerful the secrets to the first candle reel are. So this one took a little longer and it hit our target right here. This one took longer than most trades, but sometimes there is a benefit into trades that take longer. An hour still isn't that bad, especially coming from, me, how I used to work 12 hours doing DoorDash and watching charts, sweating and just nervous all day. But I want to pay attention to this trade. Notice how much more this trade ran without you. Notice how much more this trade ran without you. How many of you guys in the chat take trades and then you see the market run without you and you took profit too early? What if you could have caught that whole move? What if you would be able to add a couple risk to reward on average to your data? Would you be a profitable trader? I want you to think about that. If you guys were able to just add a little bit on, just imagine that, just a little bit extra onto your trades, that could be the missing piece into making you a profitable trader. So now let's go back and uncover the first secret to the first candle rule. Now, this is the difference between those $500 a week traders or the traders who see the crazy results like you've seen me getting, like you see my students getting, like you see all these trades where you're wondering, how did they catch that? It's different. This is what you're going to uncover. Now, how many of you guys are ready for this? Drop it in the chat. So this is very mechanical. And what did I tell you guys I told you to look at these candles. What do you notice about these three candles? What is different in these than the other trades you looked at this week? Let's take a look. The three candles that form the fair value gap. What do you notice about these three candles? Okay, I'm going to look now. Let's look at the other one. What do you notice about these three candles right here? Those candles were not all the same color, meaning that the buyers, or in that example would have been sellers, but one side wasn't as strong in control of the market. Now, this is where it gets interesting and becomes extremely powerful. You're still going to set up your trade the same way. Nothing changes. There's no what ifs or, gimmicky bullshit. There's none of that stuff works. Okay. Anytime somebody tries to give you something crazy that's not repeatable, just run, because you need to still stay within bounds. But you do need a way to make sure you're not missing out on that extra profit, because that adds up tremendously over time. And like I said, after looking at literally over 2,000 traders' data, looking at their trades, I can tell you with confidence that more traders than not are so fucking close to becoming profitable, and they don't even realize that it's right under their nose. They're over here chasing all these complicated things when it's literally right there. It's one small tweak away. So that's what I want to give you guys with this first secret. So you would enter the trade the same. We're not adding any complicated nonsense, no jargon, none of that. We're going to put our stop loss. Oops, I almost messed it up. Muscle memory. Hold on. We're going to put our stop loss, and you're going to leave your take profit open. Okay. So we place our stop loss. You never don't place a stop loss. Okay. You always place a stop loss, but you leave your take profit open. Now you still mark this. Imagine that we are still going for a 2-to-1. Okay. So you can put a level right here, because the data shows the market is very probable to go this far, right? Regardless if there is three candles that are the same color or not. I've tested this over a ton of trades. The data shows that the market is likely to go here. Very high chance. But after reviewing so many trades, I realized that the market also goes a lot farther sometimes. So after the market hits into that level, as we know, this one took a little while, a whole hour. It's so funny how spoiled we can get, to be able to make that much money in an hour. Like, lawyers work for 8 to 10 years and then pay over $100,000 a lot of times to be able to make $700 to $1,000 an hour if they're good. If they're good, right? And then traders will get upset about making a couple $1,000s in an hour. Fucking wild, isn't it? But now notice right here, it's hit the level, but what do? Well, after the market starts to move, instead of just taking profits, you're going to move up your stop loss. So this stop loss, what this does is it'll cut you out of the market if the market goes back into this level. So you're going to move it up under that candle that hit that target. Okay, so to break this down again, once the market hits that 2-to-1 return, where your take profit would normally be, you're going to trail your stop. But that's not the only place you're going to keep trailing it. You're going to let the market keep printing. You're going to move it up again. And if you guys think this is powerful, wait till you see the rest of the stuff that I'm going to show you guys. Drop in the chat if you think knowing this would have been able to make you profitable trading this strategy by now. How many days have you missed out on because you didn't know this step? You see how much a small change can make in your trading. Now, once you keep getting up close candles like this, if you get a down close candle, so notice how we trailed our stop up. Once we get a little pivot right here, you're going to trail your stop up again to right there, confirm it, let the market make a move again. And then after this, you're going to keep moving your stop up. So you just keep moving it up behind each candle and let the market run without you having to sit there and micromanage it and determine whether you're going to trade. You don't have to think about what's the perfect time to exit. You don't have to let the market retrace on you. How many of you guys get in trades like this and you want to hold it longer, but what do? You let the market run back on you, because not every time you're going to get an explosive move. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that every single trade is going to go crazy, but the ones that do, catching those is going to make a difference in your trading. So you're going to keep moving the stop up, as you can see. And look how much more we've gotten out of this one trade. Move that up actually another tick. And again, guys, if you think this is crazy, wait till you see the rest of the stuff I'm going to show you. This is nothing. Now, if you notice, how much extra profit have we doubled? Or not doubled, have we added? Not doubled, but we've added a lot. We've gone up almost a whole nother risk to reward. Now, that for some of you new guys, if you don't know what that means, that's huge. So after this, it ends up coming down and takes us out. But we just added an extra 0.6 R on a 2-to-1 trade. It's almost an extra 30% of profit that we're making just on that trade. Wild, huh? Now, this is just one of the secrets that I haven't revealed publicly. And there are more execution secrets that are going to determine whether you're consistent, whether you get the most out of this. And we're going to talk about all that in just a minute. Now, I know that I've been showing you guys a 15-minute variation of this. I've been teaching you on the 5-minute today. There's a 15-minute variation that's exactly the same strategy. You just change time frames. We're going to get to that later. We're going to go over how to know which one to trade, because sometimes the 15 minutes better, sometimes the 5 minutes better. So a lot of people ask, which one should you use? And that's what we're going to get into in step 3 and in the rest of today. So that is the first candle rule. Now, I told you guys on YouTube that you guys were going to see a lot of stuff that you had never seen before. And this is just, remember, we're still in step 1, guys. We're still in step 1. Or I'm sorry, in step 2. Not in step 1. We're still in step 2. But here's the thing, guys. You guys, the strategy is one thing, but knowing when to trade it, which market to trade, when to let winners run, when to take profit, when to sit out, all of that is what's going to separate the winners from everyone else. And that is exactly what we're going to talk about in step number 3. So let me get my screen shared the right way. Boom. All good. Cool. So step number 2, execution, step number 3. Now, this is the system that ties it all together. And without this, this loses a drastic amount of power. This is the most important part to any trading strategy. Now, the problem, even after knowing a strategy, is that in the moment, you have to make real-time decisions. Right now, I just traded this over with you guys. And another thing, let's just note, that was this last week. How much money did you guys make this past week trading? That was just the last couple days. There's no way I could have picked that. There's no way I could have foreseen that happening, but that is what a good trading strategy will do. I'm not going to tell you it's going to win every single day, because it's not. If anyone tells you something wins every day all the time, it's just not going to work every single day. It can appear every day, but it's not going to have a 100% win rate. But as you guys see, just over this last week, it was huge. And I see a lot of you guys made some money. Some of you guys were negative. I want you to imagine it. What would your trading week have been like if you didn't have to sit there and come to the screen and wonder, which time frame am I going to trade on? Which market am I going to trade? Is this setup an actual good setup, or is it just another trap? Should I let my winners run? Should I take profit? Where do I take profit? Where do I place my stop? Much less, should I even trade today? We all know that these are the decisions that separate consistent traders from everyone else. Because you guys probably have seen different strategies before. You've seen things online. But what actually is going to matter to you is making these real-time decisions and having an easy, simple way of doing so. Now, the reason that you're inconsistent, if you're a struggling trader, is that, 1 week you're going to have some wins. How many of you guys have ever had beginner luck? How many of you guys have ever had beginner luck? Can you do it on perp futures? Yes. And the tool even tells you when to use it on crypto too. Some of you guys said no. Damn. RIP. I've had beginner luck. I always like beginner luck is funny because you kind of learn it. You know, one week you win, the next week you lose it all, most likely, and then some. And it's not that you don't know a strategy, it's just that you didn't know how to apply it. Now, does this sound familiar to you guys? I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if this sounds familiar. Now, I built a system that removes the emotion and the thought out of all of this. Now, I spent over 6 figures and worked with some of the best minds in trading over the last year. This was to build a system that answers every single one of these questions and more. And this is what I use every single day. It tells you which markets to trade, and more importantly, which to avoid. It tells you which time frames to use. It filters out the bad setups before you take them, tells you when to let your winners run versus when to take profit. It tells you how to keep consistent and stay on the right track day after day. And again, this is the important stuff. This is what actually separates traders from just knowing a strategy and then making money using it. And like I told you, the execution secret I showed you is nothing on this. Now, I want you guys to imagine, what if you never had to sit there and second guess a trade again? What if you knew exactly which market to trade, which time frame to use, and whether to let your winners run or take profit? What if you didn't have to think about these things anymore? What if you could just show up every single day, follow the system, and become a consistent trader? That is what this tool does. Now, let me tell you what happened whenever I finally built this system. I spent over 6 figures and worked with some of the best minds to build this system that answers all of these questions for me. And I use it every single day. Now, this is what exactly is responsible for helping me catch some of the biggest winners that I've ever had, keeping me out of the losing streaks that would have caused big losses that even an experienced trader like myself, if I didn't have this tool, I would have even gone through losing streaks, because losing streaks are inevitable. But you have to be leveraging every bit of advantage in order to survive in this business. And not only to survive, but to thrive. It also gives me the confidence to scale position size to hit bigger wins. This tool is what changed everything for me. Now, I built this originally for myself. I never planned to share it with anybody. But I realized after how powerful it was that there's no way that I could be the only one using this. I knew there are thousands of traders out there struggling with the same exact problems that I had. They're second guessing every trade, all these other things that we've discussed already. And that's why I built the exact solution that every trader needs. And I'm going to show you exactly what this is, not just concept or theory. I'm going to show you the actual tool that I use every single day. And I'm going to give you the chance to use it yourself. Now, let's talk about what this 3-step process without this tool is responsible for. As you guys have seen, we have tons of traders who are absolutely crushing. Daza here, getting 3.6R instead of 2R. We've got Ali getting 5 accounts pass and, most importantly, getting an actual payout. Just people on Instagram. These are Instagram DMs right here. $9,000 on Bitcoin. So I see a lot of you guys asking, does it work on crypto? Does it work in this? The answer is yes. We've got gold here trading, or To The Moon trading gold. I saw a lot of you guys asking about gold. He's trading this and he got $4,000 on 10 accounts. So I get asked a lot, does it work for NASDAQ? Does it work for? Yes. But you have to know when to pick which one. Now, another win right here with 7string. And one of the things that made me love this one, why I put it on its own screen, is the way he realizes the depth of this. I love this way of thinking. Just like that, halfway through passing a challenge. It's that fast. And it's something you can mechanically backtest and get that real-time conviction without getting lost in lots of details. There's no what ifs. There's not 100 different things you have to look at. Now, I want you to comment in the chat. Which step has been the most eye-opening for you? Was it the strategy for some of you new guys? Was it the execution secrets? Are you excited to see this tool? Which one is it for you guys? I see a lot of variation. Everybody's saying 2, 3, 1. I love to see that. Everybody's at different parts of their journey, but I can tell you guys, number 3, no matter if you're a complete beginner or even an expert trader, is going to absolutely change the way you look at the markets. So over the past, it's been a little over an hour. I wanted to go in depth with you guys. So you guys are absolutely crushing it. If you're still watching, we haven't even made it to the best part. But over this last, we'll say 90 minutes, do you think you've made significant progress towards becoming a successful trader? I mean, just from gaining the confidence of seeing it done live this past week alone, I guarantee you that alone gave you a buff. Even if you already knew this, much less if you didn't know this or the execution secret, and none of you guys knew that or step number 3, which is going to be the most powerful thing you've ever seen. So I got a question for you guys. Now, how many losses do you think you could have avoided if you knew everything that I just showed you? If you would have known all of this 6 months ago, would your 2025 have looked different? We're coming to an end, and I know that I always used to get really upset around this time of year because I would always set these big goals, and I would tell myself that, this was going to be the year. This is my year. This is it. This is it. I'd write it in my journal. I would think it every day. I'd say it out loud, but like right around Thanksgiving time when I'd be there with family, everybody asked me how it was going. I'll never forget that. How many of you guys could have avoided that kind of feeling had you known everything I just showed you today? I want you to drop in the chat. Now, on a scale from 1 to 10, how helpful was everything you learned today? And I want you to be brutally honest with me. I'm a big believer in deliberate, direct feedback. And at the end of the day, I do this all for you guys. I could have probably spent today with my daughter. She's outside playing with her friend, and my fiance, I could have spent the day with him, but I decided to spend the day in here with you guys. So I hope that it was a 10. I see a 10 million something. So we love that. Let's go. Now, I still have a few more important things to share with you before we get to the giveaway and the live Q&A and the tool. And as we all know, I want to make one thing clear before we keep going. Strategies alone don't mean success. So what is the number one mistake that separates the traders from using the system from the ones who fail? Or I'm sorry, the ones that use this system and fail from the ones who find consistent profits. I see RO Crypto asked in the chat, do you guys try this stuff? It works. All you guys who've been here for a minute, get him up to speed, man. Now, I want to show you guys another example. Look at this step right here. Is there anything wrong with this chart? This was the first candle's low, first candle's high. We got our fair value gap through it, but then what happened? How many of times has this happened to you? Now, this is the stuff most gurus aren't going to show you. You're probably even shocked. Well, why is he showing us a losing trade? Which is sad because that means the space is that dirty. You guys are not used to seeing a losing trade. What was wrong with this trade? What was wrong with the technicals of this trade? Tell me. I'll wait. And I don't mean some kind of like, the wicks. Like, I'm talking about something that is actually clear cut and repeatable. What was wrong with it? There was nothing wrong with it. I can tell you, everybody's going to see this. They're going to get stopped out and they're going to blame the strategy. But the strategy itself and the pattern isn't the problem in that example. The environment was. Now, I'm going to be unveiling a tool in a few minutes that would have kept you safe from getting burned in this exact trade. And that's why I got that example, and we're going to come back to that later. I want you guys to study this. Take a screenshot of this in your mind and see what went wrong with this, because we're going to come back with it. And it's these small details, guys. I know you're probably like, why is he talking about it? It's these things that are actually going to make you guys win. And that's what I'm here for, is to make sure that you guys not just walk away with how to draw some rectangles on screens and a nice dopamine hit. I want you guys to walk away from this with the plan to actually make some fucking money, to actually make a change. Because I can assure you that just watching a bunch of videos, no matter how good they are, alone is not going to do it. You need a clear-cut system and a plan and a methodology that you can stick to every day. That way you don't rely on motivation. You just rely on discipline. Now, that discipline is what I learned to build the foundation you guys are going to see today. It's what allows me to follow this 3-step system. apply the execution filters without emotion and the secrets, which you haven't even seen all of them yet. And it's what led me to develop the tool that I told you about at the beginning of this call that I keep referencing. This is the one that tells me whether a trade is good or not. It helps me avoid losing streaks. It tells me which markets to trade. It sizes my positions for me. And more importantly, it removes emotion. We are getting very close to revealing this tool. Look, I wish I would have had someone to show me this process years ago. I would have literally saved years of my life. And not only years of my life and made a lot more money, I would have avoided so much pain. Because let me tell you this, guys. I want you to realize this. Like, imagine once you have a truly consistent strategy and you are the version of yourself who can execute it, you have all the tools that you need to make these critical decisions, money won't even be a thing to you anymore. It just genuinely isn't. It's all about time. It's all about the real important stuff. And you realize that whenever you can just access money. So when I look back, it's more about avoiding all the countless sleepless nights, all the years of my life that I wasted. I'm 29. I'm still young. But if I would have known this when I was younger, I could have saved myself so much. Because at the end of the day, the process from where you're at today, learning that, especially for you guys who dropped a 4, who've already been doing this for years and are still not successful, that process is like a road that's 100 miles long. And most people, they start to crawl and they'll give up after a couple 100 feet. They go on to the next video, the next thing, blow another prop firm account, yada, yada. You know the drill. And some people will run and they'll end up getting there after they, Forrest Gump it and endure the entire hardship along the way. If you guys don't know Forrest Gump, the guy ran across the country. So that's kind of like what you guys are trying to do. But the really smart ones, they understand that they can just take a sports car and get to the same end goal in a fraction of the time. You and I can both agree that if I put you back into the wild right now, that the odds of you being able to replicate the same success that I have is extremely low. I want you to imagine it's tomorrow. You're going into the market with everything you saw today. How do you feel? Did it change everything? Are you instantly just some god trader? It's just not how it works. So I want you to think about it like this. If you were to do one complimentary session with a personal trainer, do you know everything that you need to become a world-class athlete? Not really, right? You definitely don't. And right now, we just ran that first free session. Now, look, if I had to guess, 90% of the people who take that free personal training session never get back with the personal trainer again. That's just life. They might even have a good reason. They'll say that they had stuff to do. They didn't have time, yada, yada. There's always an excuse. But then there's the 10% of people who are so serious about changing their life, that are really motivated, that they keep pursuing it. And the same goes for this call. Now, I would like to believe that there's more than 10% of you guys that are going to fall into that second category, but only you can make that decision. And I know there is a handful of you guys on this call who are ready and eager to finally become a successful trader. You're sick and tired of living this life where you keep making the same mistakes, you're stuck, and you want to level up so bad, and you're willing to put in the work, but it's almost like you're trying to, like I said, you're trying to run across the country. You can put all the effort in you want, but you're just in the wrong boat. There's a quote by, I think it's Warren Buffett: you can row as hard as you want, but if you're in the wrong boat, it doesn't matter. Now, after being on this call for so long, you probably have seen that I know what I'm talking about. You've seen my story. You've seen that if somebody as fucked up as I was can get to where I'm at today, being honored to talk to thousands of you guys, living the life that I live, being as blessed as I am, you probably understand by now that I know a thing or two about trading. Now, I don't want this to be seen as I'm trying to push this on everybody, because most people are still going to want to try to see success in their own. I totally get that. It is what it is. But if you meet the criteria that I just listed and you're ready to hear about the offer that I've prepared for you, that is ultimately going to help you expedite your path to success, then I want you to comment a yes in the chat. Now, this will change the trading space. And I'm very confident when I say this, or I wouldn't be saying it live in front of thousands of you guys here today. I know that what I'm about to share with you will change the standard for trading education forever. This is not some course. It's not just your average course, okay? I know that's what you guys are thinking. It's not. This is me giving you a full blueprint and then giving you an AI suite of tools to help you stay disciplined and expedite your path to profitability, to help you make those critical decisions without emotion. It is a complete trading system that combines my proven strategy with AI powered tools that find opportunities and keep you sharp and disciplined, and most importantly, keep you away from the losses. When I say I prepared something special for you guys, I meant it. This is not an offer that you can expect to ever see again. And I will never put this anywhere on social media again. You guys have my word that after this is going back in the vault. And we are going to cut it at just 30 spots. I've said this before in my content, and I will say it again. Trading courses alone do not work. You can watch hundreds of hours of videos and still fail. Now, why is that? Because courses teach you what to do, but they don't help you actually do it consistently. And that is the gap that the trading education space must fill in order for more successful traders to come about. And that is why what I have for you today isn't just a course. It's a complete 3-part blueprint for becoming a consistently successful trader. And it's powered by something that I have never shown publicly before. Students have paid a minimum of $6,800 just to access this blueprint, but you're not paying $6,800 today. In fact, you won't even be paying a fraction of that. And you're getting this as a part of a complete system. And I'm going to show you exactly what is in that in just a moment. And again, this is not just a bunch of fluff and theory or average trading course, because that stuff doesn't work. Students who have spent $10,000 or more on other programs tell me this is the clearest, most actionable training that they have ever seen. It is the equivalent of downloading my entire trading brain directly into yours. And you skip the years of trial and error and take the express lane to becoming a funded professional trader without having to go through all the pain that I did, even if you're a complete beginner. This blueprint is going to give you everything you need to become a consistently successful trader. It covers everything from what assets to trade, the fundamentals of trading, software tutorials, all the way to full proven and tested strategies, advanced analysis, and the mental game of trading. Literally everything from A to Z. Now, the blueprint is powerful. Students have paid $6,800 for this alone, and countless students have gone on to become successful traders. As you guys have seen on my channel, or as I've shown you in this presentation today, you guys know the kind of results my traders get. But here is the thing. Having a proven strategy is only half the battle. The other half is executing it perfectly every single time. And here is exactly what I built to solve that problem for good. For the past 12 months, I have been working with a team of developers to automate the most difficult parts of trading. The parts we just talked about, the execution details, the discipline, how to know when to trade, how to know when to sit out, how to know when to extend your targets, how to know all the important stuff. I wanted to build something that could apply the filters for you, identify the highest probability environments, and help you manage your risk and avoid fake outs and bad trades without emotion. What I'm about to show you is the result of all that work. This is what I've been building in secret. This is Smart Trader AI. Remember the 4 fatal mistakes that we outlined at the beginning of this call. Number 1, strategy hopping. Number 2, information overload, trading fearfully in the execution gap. Number 1 is completely destroyed because the blueprint gives you one strategy. The AI keeps you accountable to it and tells you when the setup is good and when the setup is not. This way, you finally stop jumping around from strategy to strategy and stay consistent. Number 2 is completely smashed because the blueprint cuts through all the noise. The AI gives you clarity every single day instantly without emotion, and that way you can trade with confidence and not be confused. Number 3 is killed because the blueprint teaches you exactly what to do while the AI removes the emotion from the decision. The result is that you are able to execute calmly without second guessing yourself. And number 4, the blueprint gives you the process, and the AI finds your mistakes and fixes them fast. The result is that you become consistently profitable as quickly as humanly possible. Now, what makes this different? Because it's powered by AI that removes the number one thing that causes traders to fail: emotion. AI, my friend, does not have emotion. But I want to be clear that this is not just ChatGPT, because ChatGPT alone does not work. Because this AI is trained on millions of data points from my entire 9-year trading career. Every trade, every journal entry, every market analysis, and every piece of content that I've ever created. It's like downloading my brain into yours and having access 24/7. And don't just take it from me. As Link said from my inner circle when I tested this with him, well, I already enjoy utilizing this as opposed to ChatGPT, especially with it being more geared towards the concepts learned here. Sam said, I've been using it every day. The daily snapshot is clutch. Takes like 2 minutes, and when there's a signal, which there is usually at least one, it gives me 10x the confidence through the day. His win rate went from 41% to 61%, just from avoiding bad trades. And everybody in here has said the same thing. They say it's like talking to me, but minus the occasional profanity, because I train it not to do that. But it literally knows everything that I teach. Now, this helps you avoid losing trades because before you even enter a trade, the AI grades your setup and analyzes the market environment. It gives you an instant read on whether to be aggressive, conservative, or to sit on your hands and not trade at all. It analyzes every trade you take and instills unbreakable discipline because it tracks your patterns and shows you exactly where you're not following the plan and where emotion is taking you over. It's your personal accountability partner that's there 24/7 and knows everything that I do. So it gives you absolute clarity. There's no more analysis paralysis because the AI tells you which markets to focus on and which to avoid every single morning. You start every session with a clear and actionable plan. AI is changing the game as we all know it. Let's be honest. It's causing layoffs. We're seeing it everywhere. Everywhere you look, there's something now with AI. And trading is no exception. The traders who actually leverage it in their day-to-day in the right ways will have a huge edge on everyone else. But generic AI is dangerous. And this is where most people completely screw themselves, especially people who don't really understand AI and they just get on ChatGPT and don't realize that most AI tools are generic. They're trained on everything, which really means they're trained on nothing specific, right? We don't want something that's trained on everything because that's trained on a million strategies. You guys want to focus on one simple thing. They give you all these conflicting signals. I mean, how many times have you guys used ChatGPT? You'll send it something, and then right after it'll say something conflicting and just say, oh, I'm sorry. It's kind of like, oh, I'm sorry. I could have just caused you to lose money. You know, that's an absolute nightmare for someone who is looking for clarity. I know everybody who's used AI has been through that. And if you're not using AI, then you 100% need to pick up the pace. But this AI is different. That's why I trained it to be exclusively focused on one proven blueprint. It doesn't give you 10 different strategies or hundreds of different things to do. It helps you do one thing flawlessly. We've built that for traders with the dynamic duo of my battle-proven methodology plus your AI-powered execution system. This is your unfair edge. Now, as you can see, we can actually look at the markets and it will tell you which are bearish or which are bullish. You can even send it pictures like you remember this right here, this picture from earlier. How many of you guys remember this? How many of you guys remember this? Nothing was wrong with it. I told you guys what's wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with it. There's a key level. The fair value gap through that first candle, but the trade still lost. But as you can see, after reviewing this with Smart Trader AI, looking at this setup, it appears you had very valid technical reasons. Pattern formation, everything aligned correctly. However, this loss could have been avoided by checking the market snapshot. You see that one thing, that one small thing, just like the other secret that I gave you earlier, could be the difference between where you're at and where you need to be. It's the small things. It's the little things that get you from over the finish line. And it even asks you questions. Do you commit? It'll get you to commit and it'll hold you accountable to this. You'll be able to look back and see, did you really stay consistent with it? Now, these are just two of the things, and we'll get to more later. But I've already tested this with a small group of people after I used it on myself because I needed to make sure it worked for other people. And here's what they're saying. Just completed the bounce back framework, which is one of the many different mental frameworks that it takes you through. That was amazing. So intuitive. Now it's time to put the plan to work. I chatted with the AI earlier and I got to tell you the answers. It responded sounding like I was talking to you. Did leave out the colorful language. I can't tell you how many people have said this. It developed a process-focused trading system that I need to follow before making any new trades. And then Masha, it made an entire trading plan for her. With Atufi, he was even so grateful that I allowed him in the first round of beta testers because this is one of my guys from a long time. Me and Atufi go way back. And he said that it helped him with his emotional state in trading, helped him take less trades, and he went from taking 10 trades a week to 6 trades a week. But his P&L went from drawdown, meaning that he wasn't even profitable, to plus 4R in just 1 week time. This is just scratching the surface of how many people this has impacted. Tara said, yeah, this is way better than ChatGPT, and it's cool how it works well with the info we learned in the course. Overall for the app, honestly, first I thought it would be too complicated for me being new, but everything is organized and made so easy to use. The risk alerts drill saved my ass. I was about to go on tilt after a stupid loss, and AI literally flagged it and made me stop. How many of you guys, just imagine right now, if you had something there that told you immediately when you were going into tilt, would you be able to be a profitable trader? The position sizing calculator is clutch. Kind of crazy that I was risking the same on each trade. How many of you guys risk the same amount of money on each trade? How many of you guys risk the same? Yeah, those are little things that you don't even realize. You don't even realize that you're missing these things because you shouldn't be risking the same exact amount on each trade. You should know how to grade a setup, and that's what this AI does for you. Here's a simple truth. The blueprint alone trains you for battle. The Smart Trader AI suite keeps you sharp. It ensures you execute, take the right trades, and stay precise and disciplined. Together, they create one outcome: a funded, professional trader. It's like having me and all of my tools working with you 24/7. Here is what makes this offer incredible. When you join the Smart Trader AI today, you're getting founding members access to the entire AI suite with lifetime unlimited usage. That means unlimited access to all of the AI tools, your coach, the daily intelligence, your trading journal, the discovery system, and then all of the more tools that we're adding on forever. And after today, the AI will only be available on a monthly subscription, but you're locked in for life. The value of this is $3,000. That's what we're going to charge after today for just 1 year. And then after that, you have to pay monthly. But for today, that's not what you guys are going to pay. The Smart Trading Blueprint plus the Smart Trader AI suite is already everything that you need to succeed. But for the first 30 people who enrolled today, I'm including an additional bonus to accelerate your results even faster. Number one, I'm going to get you on a one-on-one call with my coach. That way, before you place your first trade, you'll have a private strategy session with one of my personal top guys. Now, usually we would charge $500 for this, but today, only one time, I'm giving this away for 30 of you guys with Smart Trader AI and the Blueprint. And on this call, we're going to build your personalized 90-day roadmap to becoming a successful trader. Optimize the strategy for your specific goals and risk tolerance. Ensure that you are set up from success from day one. Now, let's talk about the investment. A lot of you guys are asking, how much does it cost? You're going to get the complete Smart Trading Blueprint course, right? We're not just getting the course, though. This normally costs $6,800. You're going to get lifetime access to the Smart Trader AI suite, which would usually be a $3,000 value, plus another bonus with the call worth $500. That's over $10,000 in total value. But you're not paying anywhere close to that, guys. I'm not going to get on here and tell you it's $10,000. It's not even a quarter of that. And you're about to see why this offer will never be available again. Your investment today is only $1,497. Now, the link should be getting pinned in the chat, in the live chat, and it's on the screen. Let me make sure it's pinned. And there's a QR code at the top up there. If you are savvy with tech, you can take a picture or, take a picture and then hold on it. You can go to learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. You can go in the link that's in the pinned chat, but it's learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. There are two groups of people out there. Whenever presented with an opportunity like this, people are going to react one of two ways. So some of you guys are ready to go. And I know you're the kind of person who is going to see success inevitably. But some of you guys need a little extra push to make it make sense in your mind. So as group number 1 claims their spot of the 30, but for group number 2, let me quickly try and walk you through the thought process of why I think this offer today is actually a no-brainer and why it will never be available again. Just a couple of minutes and we'll get to the live Q&A and the giveaway. I haven't forgot. We're going to be giving away the prop firm accounts, a couple $1,000, and we're going to go and let you guys just freestyle and ask me whatever questions you want. So straight value alone, like I said, past people have paid $6,800 for this blueprint alone. Now you're getting that at an 80% discount. How's that for a Black Friday sale? And it's not even the most valuable piece of the puzzle. Founding access to Smart Trader AI will be sold at minimum $3,000 a year after today, and I will probably raise that price because I am typically not one that has these little cheap things, Discords with millions of people. I don't want to do that. I actually like getting people results. As you guys know, you've seen a tremendous amount of results come from my traders. So after today, this will never be available again. Not to mention, you also get the one-to-one strategy call. Now, there is a reason that I can only do 30 spots today, because I don't want to be unfair to the rest of our clients for the rest of the year by opening up more spots. Now, I know that some of you guys already hear me on the value of it, but let's talk about what this offer could actually do for you. The curriculum is structured like a collegiate program, and it goes over everything A to Z. There is no stone left unturned. You also get to download my entire brain. As someone who has made millions of dollars over the past few years, gone from nothing to where I'm at today, you also get the component 1 of Smart Trader AI. This is your 24/7 trading assistant trained on my exact methodology. You can send it pictures of your setups, talk to it, and tell it which trades to take and which to sit out. It's like having me right there with you when you're trading. This removes the emotion from trading. There's no more second guessing. There's no more FOMO. There's no more revenge trading. Number 2, you get the daily market intelligent report. Every morning, you get a clear breakdown of which assets to trade, and more importantly, which to stay out of. When to expect big moves. That way you know exactly when to attack and when to sit out. So there's no more guessing, no more trading on wrong days and losing money. Number 3, the AI-powered trading journal. This analyzes all of your trading data and finds the holes in your system that you never could. It shows you exactly what's holding you back, whether you're taking profit too early, holding losers too long, trading the wrong time frames. This finds it and fixes it. Number 4, the AI risk management tool. This is a supercharged position sizing system designed specifically for prop firm traders. It tells you exactly how much to risk on each trade based on your account size, the challenge rules, and risk tolerance. That way you can pass prop firm challenges faster and scale to multiple accounts without blowing up. This is the math behind success with prop firms. Because if you haven't figured out already, there is a secret way that the biggest and best prop firm traders are doing it, and it's not what you think. So there's no more guessing on this position size, no more risking too much or risking too little. That way you're able to actually get the most out of this. So here's what this means for you. No more second guessing yourself. No more holding losers too long. No more taking profit too early. You'll know exactly what to do and exactly when to do it. Imagine, what if you never had to wonder, should I trade today? What if you knew exactly which market to focus on? What if you could show up, follow the system, and be consistent? That is what this does. Now, my guarantee for you, I know you guys can tell how confident I am in this offer, and I'm willing to put up my money right where my mouth is. We have a guarantee for this offer. I am trying to make this a complete no-brainer for everyone who's on the fence because I genuinely know within my heart that this is going to impact the trading industry forever. The real reason for this guarantee, though, isn't just to de-risk your investment. It's to help you get out of your own way because that is what most of you guys need. I know that if you just do what I'm asking, complete the curriculum, use the AI tools daily, and log your trades, you will succeed. But I also know that left to your own devices, you might talk yourself out of it. So I created this guarantee to remove any excuse you have for not starting today. If you complete the entire Smart Trading Blueprint curriculum, use the AI tools daily, log at least 50 trades in the AI Performance Journal, and still don't receive your first prop firm payout within 90 days, I will buy your next prop firm challenge for you. That is how confident I am that if you do the work, you'll get results. There are thousands of you guys out there who have everything you need in terms of information, but you won't get out of your own way. Every time it comes time to take action, whether it's right here today, whether it's in the markets, whether it's whenever you need to sit out of the markets, whatever it is, maybe it's not even trading, maybe it's just in life. If you would just get out of your own way, take the risks, take the chance, take the shot, that's the only fucking way you win. And this is exactly what Christopher was able to do. He was able to quit his job. That is the goal for most people. That should be the goal. And not because you don't want to work because you're lazy, because you want freedom. This is him on a plane heading home from his last trip to the oil fields. I'm actually freaking retiring, dude. It still hasn't hit me yet. I want you to imagine that moment. How many of you guys right now work a job where your life is getting sucked away from you and your family? You're sitting there all day just rotting away, making someone else rich, doing something you hate. Now just imagine if you could just get on a plane, and get the fuck out of there. Or William, who had over 20K in payouts, proposed to the woman that he was in love with, and closed on his first house. And this isn't just one payout or one series of payouts. As you guys have probably seen on social media, William has been on a fucking tear lately. He's been crushing it. What really hit him the most is how much his life had changed over the past 3 years. Not from the money, but from the mindset that this game forces you to build. We also have Eve right here, who tragically lost her husband and was in a very tough spot, but now has secured over $18,000 in profits just from trading. Now, this one almost gets me emotional when I read it. And this one popped up not very long ago. And I connect with this because trading is hard, guys. Like, it really is. Whenever you're not in a good spot mentally, like, it's fucked up, man. Every time I have chills sitting here thinking about this shit. I can literally remember whenever I would just sit there and I felt like such a fucking piece of shit. I felt like I was never going to make it. And all of these voices in my head and voices from my parents, voices from different people telling me that I was a gambler, telling me that I was just messing up, telling me you have a kid you have to take care of, you're risking everything. Why are you doing this? I remember being in that state of mind and trying to trade. And that is why I have the utmost respect for someone who can pull out of that, something that's even harder than that, that's much harder, and go into making $18,000 in her highest profits when she started. That to me is powerful and motivates the absolute fuck out of me. I don't know about you guys. Think about it like this. We've helped people who probably started with less capital than you, had less skills than you, and struggled with discipline more than you. If they can get funded and successful using this system, then what is stopping you? If you have any doubts, we'll talk about it in the QA. But I want today to be special for you. You came on this call looking for the answer to becoming a successful trader as fast as possible. And now you have it. The complete strategy, the AI tools, the playbook for becoming a successful trader, the support, everything you need is right here. The only question left is, are you going to take action? Or are you going to keep doing what you've been doing? If I would have had access to something like this whenever I started, I would have been funded at half the time. As you guys saw, for me, it was 5 years. I'm not one of those gurus going to tell you I was an instant success. I wasn't. I was a miserable fucking failure. Probably way worse than most of you guys on here. And if I would have had access to this, I would have been able to do it in a fraction of the time. So what's it going to be, guys? Another year of struggling? Or 90 days from now, you're trading with real capital, trading with confidence, finally getting closer towards that freedom. Now, before we get into the live Q&A, I want to handle some frequently asked questions that a lot of you guys probably already have. Number one, I've passed challenges before, but I'm terrified of trading with real capital. What if I blow the account? How many of you guys, this is probably coming to mind? Now, I didn't mean to go to the next one. Now, the number one thing with this is you're still trading with emotion. You don't actually have conviction. How many of you guys have been gaslit by a trading mentor who tells you it's just your mindset? Now, let me break down what trading psychology actually means. Trading psychology is a fancy word for trusting odds over time. Because in trading, you can have a great strategy that occasionally will lose. It might lose a couple of times in a row. And most people, when they get to those normal losses, they switch. They pull out, they switch to another strategy. They do everything that keeps traders unprofitable. And then somebody tells them that it's because they're trading psychology. But most of these traders don't even have confidence in their strategy, and they don't know that it's profitable. So let's just say this. Let's say, how many of you guys tell yourself that your problem is trading psychology? But if you look me dead in the eye, do you know that your strategy is even profitable? Over the long term, would you put your life on it that your strategy is profitable? If the answer is not yes, then you can't have bad trading psychology. You literally can't have bad trading psychology if you don't know your strategy works. Why would you want to trust something that doesn't work? Every guru will use this as an out. Oh, well, you didn't have good mindset. It's because no. For most people, I'm not going to say for everybody, because for some, yes, mindset is an issue. I'm not saying it's not an issue for anyone. But for most people who say this, it's just a scapegoat. It's just a scapegoat for some other teacher to tell you that, oh, this is why you're not successful, because their strategy doesn't work. So maybe your bad trading psychology is actually your instincts keeping you safe. But once you have the AI suite, you have the system, everything you need to give you that real conviction, a mechanical way to check in on your software and see, which markets do I trade? Does this trade work? Is this a good setup? And everything else, where you get to these points where you tell yourself, oh, it's just your mindset. All of that is going to be wrapped into one with this system. Now, number two, a lot of you guys have this in common with me. You lost a bunch of money and now it's destroyed your confidence. How do you know you're not going to make the same emotional mistakes again? Well, a lot of this goes back to this E word right here. Now, let me ask you guys, imagine if you could remove the emotion out of 80% of your trading, what would your trading look like? I get a lot of questions now. I see them about the trader app, when it's going to be monthly. It will never be less than $3,000 entry. After a year, it'll be monthly. You're never going to get it at a monthly rate. I'll never do that. I have no interest in launching this as a mass product. I don't care enough for trying to make as much sales in the world. I don't give a shit about that. I'm trying to actually help people who are serious. Somebody asked, can I show you it live? Yeah, we showed you the system live. It said, can I show you the system live in the charts so I know it works? We did that. We literally did that. We'll go into the questions and answers here in a little bit. I got to stay on track. Now, if you guys could remove the emotion from your trading, 80% of it, most of you guys in here that are struggling would become a profitable trader. Now, where does the emotion usually come in? Even if you have a simple system, emotion usually comes in at a couple places. Number one, which market do you trade? How do I know what asset to trade? Which one do I focus on? How do I know when even the best setups, like that one I showed you earlier, are not going to play out? How do you know? That's where emotion comes in. And to be honest, after years and years of experience, you can have some discretion. And before today, I would have had to tell you guys, the only way I can answer this is by telling you guys to go trade for a decade, like I did. But instead, you get to download all of that today without having to go through all that. Now, another one that I see popping up too. I've bought so many courses already. How is it different from the other 10 courses I haven't finished? Well, if you can't see that already enough, then I may have not done a good job as I thought. Because a course is one thing. That's cool. Bunch of videos. To be like, guys, I just showed you, I walked this over the entire last week and showed you exactly what to do every day. But if you go out into the wild tomorrow, are you going to be able to go replicate that? That's the same problem with courses. You get the information, you have all of it, but you can't go apply it. And that is why, as you guys know, typically I never have offers like this. I only work with select traders in a very intimate setting. I don't have a Discord where I sell it for $40 a month or $100 a month. I don't do that shit because it doesn't fucking work. It doesn't. I used to buy tons of those. Okay? If that worked, everybody would be a successful trader. But the truth is, you have to understand how to actually execute and implement. And the most I can do in content, the most I can do for free is give you guys the game. It's up to you up until today to execute it. But now you have the AI with me or with you right by your side, answering all of these tough questions. So I would say this is different than other courses in many ways. Well, number one, you're also going to get a call as soon as you join that's going to give you a roadmap to be successful. When else does that happen? That's a huge one right there. Number two, it's not some convoluted, ridiculous strategy. There's a million what ifs. It teaches you everything from how to use the tech. It's going to teach you how to use fucking TradingView. It's going to teach you how to use trade copiers, how to use prop firms, how to use every piece of software that you need. It's going to teach you how to use the AI the best way. It's going to teach you how you can apply it in way more ways than I just showed you today. It's going to show you everything from the bare bones basics all the way to the advanced strategies, advanced mental models in trading, everything that you could learn. On top of that, you are literally getting access to the AI tool that I've been building for the last year, something that I built for myself, someone who's been trading for 9 years to give myself an extra edge. Something that I had never released to the public until today and will never be released in the same way other than today. That helps you make the hard decisions, helps you avoid the overwhelm, helps you avoid blowing accounts, helps you avoid everything that is standing between where you're at with information and actually succeeding. That is what is different from the other 10 or 20 or however many fucking courses you guys have bought. And I can tell you one thing, that I have been through things in life that burnt my trust for good. And I'm not talking about just trading. And if you withdraw into the mindset that nothing works, everything's a scam, well, you've lost. You might as well just fucking quit. Number 4, what if I can't stick with this strategy long enough for it to work? Well, this is why we have the AI with you every day. You need to incorporate this into your routine. When you get a coffee, speaking of, I let this coffee get cold. You guys got me excited because those of you who know me know how much I love coffee. But you're going to incorporate this with your morning routine. You get a coffee, you sit at your desk, you look at your daily snapshot, see which markets you're going to trade. Whenever you're about to trade, you submit the trade in, make sure it looks good. After that, the AI logs your performance over time, finds different tweaks and different things you can do to just get more out of your trades. Truth be told, guys, I don't know if you guys have realized this, but in a way, this thing is more fucking powerful than me because I'm a human, okay? I like to think I'm a pretty smart guy, but I'm definitely not as fucking smart as AI that is trained on everything I know and can instantly query all of it instantly and has access to all your data. All of your trades that you input, it knows them. It gets to know you. It knows your conversations. It knows all of the gaps that there's no way you would be able to know. And most of the time, whenever you guys can't stick with a strategy long enough for it to work, the reason you think that you can't stick with it is actually not the reason. It's not. And that's, you guys, I get asked a lot, how do you define this execution secret? How did you build this logic? A lot of it was done by using AI. A lot of it was done by using AI. And that is the world that we live in today, where you have unlimited leverage if you understand how to properly use AI. And most of you guys have probably messed around with ChatGPT, maybe even got a couple wins, but you know it's not there. It's trained on everything on the internet. At least that's what happened to me. And that's why I realized that the world is changing. If you can't fucking see that, you're blind. You are fucking blind. If you cannot see the world is changing, the American dream as it used to be is dead. AI is going to take a ton of people's jobs. But on the bright side of that, the people who leverage it are going to be ultimately powerful. So it's not all doom and gloom if you know how to use it. But as with anything else, as with social media, as with crypto, how many fucking times? I mean, for fuck's sake, how many fucking times are you going to miss it? How many times are you going to miss the next big thing? Show of hands, who missed crypto? How many fucking times have you missed it? How many fucking times have I told you to buy it publicly? I've told you guys. How many fucking times? How many times? I told you guys the bottom of the Trump tariffs. How many of you guys caught those with me? I told you to buy stocks. I told you to buy crypto. I told you every fucking time there was mass fear to buy. And a lot of you guys probably saw it even elsewhere, but you still missed it. You see AI all around you. How many of you guys have implemented AI into your trading? Yes, you get lifetime access to this. Saw that question pop up. Now, the next frequently asked question that I know a lot of you guys have is, do I have enough time to actually do this with my job and my life? And the answer is obviously yes. Because as I've shown you guys, how many trades, there was one trade that took an hour. An hour? Like, is that hard? And truth be told, this system's so simple, you don't need to be, it's not like you need a fucking control room to do it, right? You need one screen. That's it. I literally, how many of you guys saw me on Instagram? I had to go buy another screen. See, there's a screen right here. I'm talking to this one. I did that so I could give you guys a good experience and I could see your guy in the chat. Now, all you need is one screen, 90 minutes a day. A lot of times less. I say 90 minutes, but it's like fucking 30 minutes a lot of the times. The next is like, I feel like I'm too much of a beginner for this to work for me. Well, I mean, if you guys didn't already see, Jasmine, Jaden, tons of beginners, like I said, do better than experienced people a lot of the time. A tremendous amount of time, the beginners do better than the, and I quote, experience. Experience in trading, if you're not making money, like if you would say I'm an experienced trader and you're not profitable, you're probably way worse of a trader than you started. Way worse. And it fucking sucks. It sucks to go through that. I remember I realized that I'd been 4 years. And I still, like, I had seen some money, lost it, and I realized, damn, I was fucking better when I first started. I wasn't so traumatized. So that's why one of the odd things that I've realized after working with so many traders, that oftentimes beginners succeed faster than the experienced people. Okay, now to enter the giveaway, all I need you to do is fill out the survey that's going to be dropped in the chat. Okay, so that'll be dropped somewhere in the chat. It's not going to be pinned, but it'll be dropped. You can find that and scroll up. It just got dropped at 4:19. Now, let's get into the live Q&A. I want you guys to ask me anything about the strategy, the AI tools, or the offer. I'll answer anything you guys got. How long is the learning curve in applying it? About 60 to 90 days. 60 to 90 days, what we see on average. Now, a lot of times it can take a little less. Sometimes it can take a lot longer. I'm not going to sit here and blow smoke up your ass. But 60 to 90 days is average. And look, if you're looking for this to work overnight, I'm probably not your guy. I'm not going to tell you you're going to be successful overnight. I'm not here to sell you fucking snake oil, okay? That's want to be very clear on that. And you can even see some of the people in who's already have access to this information. Oh, you guys are killing the chat. I can't even keep up. So all you need is the course. Wait till you guys see the AI. Are there live streams included with the or the this? There is one live stream. Yes, one live stream per week. Can you just buy the AI? No, that's not an option. And if you did, it would be twice as much. So wouldn't really make much sense. What if you already bought the 6800 mentorship? You already have this then. You've been under a rock. Everybody's been testing this. That's how I tested the efficacy of it. How do you access AI? You go to learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. The survey was dropped in the chat a couple minutes ago. Maybe we could drop it in the chat again if my team could be so kind. What broker data source do you use? I use Tradeovate. I was using Interactive Brokers, but honestly, they fucking kill me. Like their TradingView app is fucking, or their integration is not good. Tradeovate and NinjaTrader I found are very good. They're owned by the same people, but it's much better, much quicker. Like on Interactive Brokers, I would literally like log in and it would just log me out. And, when you've got $20,000, $30,000 on the line, it's not too fun to, have to scramble to log back in or something. And then it, go into it. Now, first, we're going to go into more cute questions, but I want to recap a little bit. First, we talked about the power that you have when you become a successful trader in the world of uncertainty we live in today. And guys, I know there's more questions. We're going to get into them. Don't worry. Then we talked about how the trading space is often overcomplicated just for views, which is, in my opinion, why most of you guys are stuck. It's not even your fault because you guys aren't stupid. Trading in today's world is just hard. You also learn how my personal strategy leans more into simplicity than anything. And we talked about the 4 fatal mistakes that keep 95% of people from becoming successful traders. Number 1, strategy hopping, information overload, trading fearfully, and the execution gap. Next, I'm going to walk you through, this is the wrong slide. I think this is, where is this? Sorry, guys, there was a glitch. Next, I walked you through my simple 3-step process that I've been using for years to become and stay profitable. And finally, I presented you with a one-time offer that makes all of these fatal mistakes and absolutely destroys them. The course gives you one strategy. The AI keeps you accountable to it. The result is you finally stop jumping around. We cut through the noise with the information, get you clarity with the AI. We teach you what to do with the course. The AI removes the emotion from the decisions and the implementation. The course gives you the process. The AI finds your mistakes and helps you along all of everything and fixes everything that you're messing up, resulting in you becoming consistent as quickly as humanly possible. Now, I'm walking you all through this offer one final time before it expires. The bonuses and the pricing will expire when we hit 30 spots. Also, we do have an option for you guys to break up your investment into payments of $300. Now, it costs a little bit more, only a couple $100 because we get charged a fee. But this will allow you to be able to break up your investment into monthly payments of $300. Now, I get all the money up front. I have to charge a fee for the provider in order to do that. So if we could drop that link in the chat. Was it already dropped? And it'll just be kind of floating somewhere around the chat. It's on the screen too. It's learn.smarttradingblueprint.com/split. So that's on the screen, just the same domain /split. So again, to recap, this is the final time we're going to go over this offer. Final time you're going to have opportunity to get it. The complete Smart Trading Blueprint course, you're getting access to everything, the same trading that my students in my mentorship paid $6,800 to receive. Now, the course does 5 things for you. 1, it gives you one simple, clear-cut, proven path. No more strategy hopping. This, like I told you guys when you signed up for this class today, is the last trading strategy you will ever need. It's battle tested and proven. Over 2,184 students have used this exact system to get funded with prop firms over the last, it's insane to say this, over the last 2 years and some months since I started my mentorship. You get a deep understanding, not just rules. So you get to learn to see the market exactly how I see it and not just follow signals blindly. Similar to how I broke down why the first candle works earlier. Whenever we went over buyers or sellers being in control and what that really means, there's tons of other things that if you can understand the inner workings under the hood of this market, that is how you gain expert level conviction. I want you guys to kind of think about like a carpenter. You have a new carpenter who just got out of tech school and he's got his little, degree and certification. And then you've got the old dude who's 60. He doesn't look at shit, measure anything. He knows exactly what he needs to do, goes in there with no gear and gets the job done twice as fast. Which one do you want to be? You also get a simple and repeatable process. The 3-step system that you learned today that is going to turn this from some chaotic nightmare gambling addiction into a real business. You also get the foundation that makes what I'm about to show you work. The course is the map. The next part is the vehicle. You need both. Next up, you're going to get the founding access to the Smart Trader AI. Like I told you, you get lifetime unlimited usage. After this, it's only going to be 12 months and it's going to cost $3,000. You're not even paying half that. Smart Trader AI does 3 main things when it really comes down to it. It has multiple different features, but the 3 things that make execution flawless: it eliminates the emotion from your trading, it gives you instant clarity every single day, and finds the patterns that you can't see and fixes them fast. You also get the one-on-one strategy optimization call. So before you place your first trade, before you go out in the markets, you'll have a private strategy session with one of my personal coaches who's going to give you a roadmap to get funded in the next 90 days. And of course, this is all covered by the guarantee. No one does this. No one does this. This is how confident I am in this. If you complete the entire Smart Trading Blueprint curriculum, use the AI tools daily, log at least 50 trades in the AI Performance Journal, and if you still don't receive your first prop firm payout within 90 days, I will personally buy your next prop firm challenge for you. That is how confident I am that if you do the work, you will get results. Now, here's what our students have done with my help. Hayuk right here, which is, I fucking love this guy. Hopefully he's in the chat. So many people. He's just such an amazing human being. Like, honestly, one of my favorite people. And to see the success that he's had is fucking inspiring. He's made over $50,000 in payouts, just crossed this milestone not too long ago, and still hungry as ever. He's actually probably past this because I've seen him killing it even since then. Vosh received another payout. This guy crushes it. He just travels. He'll be in Dubai or France or fucking countries I've never even really heard of. And he's just out here trading on mobile, getting payouts. Pretty crazy. I haven't even done the mobile. This guy's a mobile trading warrior. But that's what happens when you have a really simple system. We got VT, which is Rich. I forgot to, I didn't want to dox him, but I forget his name's right here. I don't think Rich minds. Hopefully Rich don't beat me up. But this is one of my very close friends. He's made half of his mentorship in just one trade. Now, he's been a mentorship client of mine for a very long time. And just after trading with me for a long time, he just thought it was funny. Like, you can make half of the cost back in a 5-minute trade. And this was, a much more expensive cost than what you guys are paying today. Or you have Ahmed here. This is by far the best investment that I've made. And the value is real, but you have to face yourself and put in the work. And that is why I built that guarantee. Is not just to make this a no-brainer. It's to hold you guys accountable, because as you guys can see, I've shown you how many stories now. How many fucking stories have I shown you? How many times have you seen people go through my program and come out not only and become successful traders, but go on? We've got Trader Mom right now who's placing in the trading competition that's going on with Tradeify. We had Jasmine get #1 in the leaderboards. We had Jaden get $300,000 and counting. I flew him out to Miami We spent a couple days together. That was fucking awesome. We had Ethan, who you'll see his story in a little bit. He joined, and then now he's literally got his dream car. He actually ascended now to work with me at STB. So did Jaden. This is not just, this is life-changing stuff, guys. And that's why I want to hold you guys accountable to do what you need to do. Now, this was Nico. This is one of my longtime students. He's just an awesome dude. Super nice, always just providing value to everybody that he talks to. And seeing him see success with this was fucking huge. It turned out to be one of the best decisions he's ever made. And like he said, it wasn't easy. Joining was a big sacrifice. But what it turned out to be was one of the best decisions I've ever made. STB is much more than a trading academy. It has helped me transform not only the way I trade, but also my discipline, patience, and mindset. The foundations of success, not only in trading, but in life. And that is my goal for you guys. So much in the trading industry, we see only trading. And yes, that's the main goal here. But we have to peel back the onion, guys. If you want real motivation, do you want to learn to trade because you want to be profitable? Do you want to be profitable because you want to make money? Why do you want to make money? Why do you want to make money? What in life makes you want to make money? Is it that you want to travel the world? Maybe you're young and you just want to go fuck around for a couple of years and live that lifestyle. That's cool. Maybe you're a little bit older and you want to take care of your family. Maybe you're like me and you saw your parents struggling and you want to take care of them. Maybe you realize it's your God-given duty to put on for your people around you. And that's why I care more about my people than just fucking trading. You can ask any person I've worked with. I don't really just try to make an impact in trading. Sure, I have a passion for trading. Sure, I have a passion for making people successful traders. But what I really have a passion for is pushing people to their absolute fucking limit. That's what I do this for. That's why I build this guarantee and hold you guys accountable to actually do the shit you're supposed to do. Because when I was building this, I thought, even with the AI, even with this, how do I make sure? How do I raise the probability of our clients winning? Because everything you've seen with STB, the reason we have hundreds of 5-star reviews like this, the reason we have hundreds of success stories just like this is because I take such pride in client success. Gates here, who after 30 fucking years was able to finally become a profitable trader. He said, I got to be honest, I was nervous about joining STB. I had already invested into other programs with little to no success. And while I thought STB was a good fit, I struggled to really believe that this was what would turn things around for me. But he said he was so glad he did because he had learned so much about trading as well about himself as he continues the journey. Just a few months after joining, I received my first payout. And just a few months since then, I have received 40 payouts total and recoup my investment in STB many times over. That is my fucking goal for you. I want to thank you guys so much for attending today. We're going to get into a couple more questions here in a second. Be sure to fill out the survey in the chat to enter the giveaway. If we could drop the links, there's the pay in full, it's $14.97. There's the split. That's a little bit extra, but you get to drop your pay into multiple payments, $300 a month. Cool. Now, some people are asking, does this get the full mentorship? It does not get the entire full mentorship. You do get the entire full course that they've gotten. You get everything else except that I'm not going to be sitting there trading live with you every single day. You're going to get one call a week. And that's why I'm only opening this up today. Show a trade setup. I mean, we can go back and do it. I mean, if you really want to. Did we do? Where is it? You know, I mean, which one you want to see, bud? We already got a couple. We traded all these this week. If you're late, we literally sat here and traded all these this week. And that's another thing. Like, how the fuck could I have sat here? How you guys have seen? I've been telling you guys I'm going to do this call since 2 weeks ago. How the fuck would I have known? That's just what a good strategy does. That is what a good strategy does. I'm not going to tell you every single week you're going to only win. Okay, that's not what I'm here to tell you. But I am here to tell you that once you know you have a good system, you can expect a lot of weeks like this, and you can also expect to stay consistent. Much less once you have the AI leveraging, telling you which markets to trade. You're able to chat with it, figure out where your holes are in your system, figure out what you're doing wrong. So we'll break it down one last time real quick. So you mark out the first candle of the day, okay? You mark out the first candle. This is how stupid simple this is. You mark out the first candles high and low. Go down to your lower time frame. You're going to wait for a break. But you need a very specific kind of break, not just a wick like this. These little wicks don't mean shit. How many times you guys get faked out? If you're sitting here looking at that, getting FOMO, that's why you're unprofitable. As you can see here, we've got a fair value gap. Now, if you don't know what a fair value gap is, it is when a big candle like this leaves a gap between the candle behind it, right here, and the candle after it. So that's your fair value gap. That shows you who's in control of the market. We're pushing through this first candle low. And at that time, as soon as that third candle closes, you're good to enter the trade. You put your stop loss at the top of this candle. Put your take profit at a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward. You hit sell, boom. Put your stop loss. Put your take profit. And that's it. And you let the market do its thing. And this alone is powerful. But once you understand how to get that extra edge, how to know when to sit these setups out, even when they give you that pattern, how to know when to hold the trades for longer. That is what so many of you guys who watch the YouTube videos and then ask these questions, that is the gap. That is the difference. It was always 1 minute at the top. It was 5 minute before. This was 5 minute. Let me go through and see some questions. There's so many, it's just hard to even keep up. How to enter the giveaway? You can go into the there should be another link. If we could drop that link again for the survey. Somebody said I'm trying to pay and there's an error, but it won't let me. I'm not sure what you mean. The link should work. It's not an AI indicator, guys. It's an AI suite. It's a piece of software. It's not an AI indicator. Okay. There will be some indicators you get access to later down the line, but it's an AI tool that does everything that we talked about. It's not some trading bot. I'm not telling you that it's some automated, it's not a trading bot. Okay. And then another thing too, if you guys I see a lot of questions about whether you get lifetime access. Yes, you get lifetime access today. After today, it's only a year and it's 3,000 just for the AI, but you get lifetime access today. Another thing, guys, if you guys join, comment me. I'm interested to see how many of you guys are still here. See a lot of you guys coming through. Do you get the AI after you finish the course? No, you get it immediately. You get it immediately. Nice. I love it. How confident are you in this in the long term? Dumb confident. But the key is understanding, again, the filters and understanding how to download my discretion into your brain. That's why I have built this entire tool. That is why I did everything here today. Why don't I use a Lux Algo fair value gap indicator instead of drawing yourself? Because then it marks every single fair value gap on your screen. And I'm not like when I say this shit about complex, I fucking hate complexity. Okay. I try to have as little as possible on my screen at times. I'm not going to say I have nothing. I'll have some things on my screen, but I try to not have, I don't want to have every single fair value gap marked. If you do the split, yes, you get access immediately. Now, there's one question that I keep seeing pop up, and we're going to get into it in a second. I see it's just copy paste. I'm trying to, it's barely loading. So I want to make sure to answer some of these other questions that are more contextual, what we're talking about before we move to that. Still don't see survey. It's been dropped a couple of times in the chat. If we could drop it again. Maybe it was just dropped since then. Can you give an example of when not to take a trade and why? So for example, let's say if you would have had this setup right here, like let's say if you had this setup and you're looking at the market and everything pops up and it's clear, but you go to your daily snapshot and it tells you the market is strongly bullish. Well, a day that the market's strongly bullish and is back tested over a system over the last 500 days with a 60 to 70% win rate. If you know that you have a 70% win rate of being wrong, you're probably not going to take that trade. Very simple, right? Does it connect with TradeZella? No, it's its own trading journal. You do it yourself. It's not, this will save you. You don't have to have a trading journal anymore. It's its own. How long will we have to make a decision? Until the end of this here in just a couple minutes. What if the fair value gap comes after candles break? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Like if it wasn't like in the, like maybe like, let's just say hypothetically, let's say this was the first candle low and like you're wondering, okay, so the way to do this is if any of the three candles, okay, so the fair value gap's a 3-candle formation, right? So if any of these 3 candles right here, any of their body, not wicks, any of their body closes. So like, let's just say the first candle's level was right here, right? Do any of these candles close both inside and outside the range? No. But let's say if it was right here, if that hypothetically was the low, there was a low right here, and one of the 3 candles closed outside and inside of it, right? So there's this candle that would have closed inside or had its body somewhere inside. It didn't have to close inside, but had its body inside. And there's candles that closed outside. That is the requirement. Where can I access the AI as a mentor student if you just finished paying yesterday? So you should have got access to it yesterday. If not, DM client support, and you probably do have it. Just might be in your email or something. Do you no longer trade ICT concepts? This is a great question. I realized that for years, when I was actually profitable, I was telling myself that I was still trading ICT, but I really wasn't. Like, you really just like, and that's the thing you see with most ICT traders too. This is the ugly truth. Most ICT traders you see that are trading profitably, they're trading their own spin of it. 100%. Because ICT, what does that even mean? A million different concepts with fucking stupid ass names? Let's be honest. It's not a system. It's just a bunch of different things. Now, when you take all of these and put them into a specific way of using it, like I've done when I've made my free courses on this stuff, yes, it's great. But I realized that's not even ICT anymore. It's not. It's just not. It's just using, the only thing is the fair value gap. And that's not even created by ICT. Yes, EST time. EST, 9:30 a.m. EST, guys. That question is like one of the most popular questions. New York time, Eastern Standard Time. What are the time frames you can use every day when leveling up? I'm not sure what that means. Okay, now let's get to one of the questions you guys keep asking. How do you know whether to trade the 15-minute or the 5-minute first candle rule? Now, first of all, they're the same thing. See how I just went on this chart? I marked out the 5-minute low right here. So see how I just marked out that first 5-minute. Now imagine if I moved to the 15-minute and this was the first 15-minute candle. And instead of going to the 1 minute like you do with this strategy, you just went to the 5. And you just look for the same setup. Now the way, and this is what everybody keeps asking, the way that you determine which one to trade is that if you have a strong signal on the day to be bullish or bearish, if you have a strong signal on the day, you look for whichever one forms first, and you also can trade both, because both, almost always, when there's a very expansive day, they'll both appear. Okay? Almost always. Now, another easy way to filter this is if you are somebody who doesn't like when the market moves as fast and you prefer the 15-minute, you can only look to trade those days when it is a slightly or neutral or strong bullish or bearish day. Okay. Do you have strategies for London and Asia, as New York is 2 a.m. for me in Australia? Yeah, there are strategies that you can use in those sessions. Absolutely. We have a tremendous amount of people who are in Australia, the UK, Germany, many different countries that use different strategies from the blueprint. But the main one is going to be this first candle. That's what most of you guys are going to be trading in the New York session. Is this enough to get funded? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, let's be honest, guys. Technically, is what I just showed you enough to get funded? This week, this fucking week. I literally showed you guys this strategy this last week would have got you funded. Of course it is. However, are you going to go out into the wild and be able to do it? Just depends, right? It always just depends. Now, the other question everybody's asking, retest or not? Waiting for the retest. Either one can work, but whenever you have a strong signal, you don't wait for the retest. Also, there are other things inside the course about structure that I'll teach you guys really quick. Whenever you have a strong displacement, so notice how this first candle, what did it do? It strongly pushed through a lot of structure. When that happens and you close below that level with a lot of force, you can look to just trade when the fair value gap appears rather than waiting for the retracement. Okay. Now, really what this does is it saves you a little bit of extra risk to reward. If you get, like what this is talking about is some people, or some of the strategies, some of the ways you can execute this strategy, you can use a retest, right? And there'll be trainings on this that you guys will have access to inside. But you could have waited for a retest right here and you would have got a better entry. But a lot of times the market runs away without it. So when you have a very strong signal, that is when you're going to look to try to trade with momentum. And then also too, understanding the displacement through structure. But there are very simple ways you can, to be clear, all one of them does is it helps you get a little bit of a better entry. Sometimes you'll miss trades. It's not like, it's not like not knowing that is going to kill you. Yes, knowing it will 100% dramatically increase your effectiveness for sure. But it's not like a vital kill slot to not know that one. So let me ask you guys this. Everyone that's on the fence, what are you guys curious about? Any payment plan? Yeah, there is a payment plan. You can pay $300 a month with the link that's on your screen. Is there a time limit to the first candle rule? Yeah. You don't want to do it past noon. You don't want to enter past noon. If you're in a trade, then you don't have to wait. But the thing is, guys, like when I say that shit about 90 minutes, it's not just like, oh, it's 90 minutes. It's genuine. Like, why? The reason I came up with that is because how many of you guys are good traders after staring at a screen for hours? I'm curious. Like, I'm genuinely curious. I'm going to kick back because I've been sitting my ass in this chair for a minute now. Let me get this fucking mic over here. I love you guys for sitting here. It's fucking 5 o'clock. I didn't even look at the time. That's insane. It is 5 o'clock. You guys are fucking beasts. Definitely finish that espresso by now. How to determine which asset to trade for the day. In the, let me go back to this. Actually, we'll wait. No, there's probably gonna be some more chart questions. It's very simple. You go to the daily market snapshot, and it literally will tell you which markets have strong bullish signals, strong bearish. You want to trade in a market that has clear direction. Okay. The way that it derives those signals is based on a strategy that I hired a quant to build. That is based on predictive strategies using the previous few hundred candles. Okay. So it's not, and it sounds crazy, but it's not that hard to do that once you have the right people, like once you hire people. And that's why I told you guys I spent fucking 6 figures on this. It's not just like I made this for myself. The reason I made this was because I used to sit here and know, like, how many of you guys just know there is some kind of like data that just because you aren't, a human AI or a quant, there's some things that you're not going to have access to, right? There is somewhat of an edge that Wall Street does have. And it's not like advanced strategies, it's data. I love data. I am huge on understanding the deep, advanced principles behind the math of trading. How is it that Wall Street has such an advantage over retail traders? What do you think? It's that they fucking trade ICT? Get fucking real. No, it's that they have data you don't have. That's it. That's what it is. I sat here and thought about this so long. What is it? It's just data. And it's not data just from a Bloomberg terminal or something like that. No, it's real deep data. Real deep data. Now, that is just one of the things that goes into this AI. So the daily market intelligence is going to tell you, or the daily market snapshot is going to tell you which markets have a strong or neutral tendency to be bearish or bullish. It's not some trading bot. I'm not here to sell you a fucking trading bot. Okay. Don't buy trading bots from people. Most of the time they're scams. Okay. Believe me, I've looked into them to try to use them for my own personal use. They're not most of the time. Here's the thing. If you have a trading bot that works, start a hedge fund. Right. How do you define the target? We'll do this one more time. I want everybody to pay attention. The last time I'm going to go over I'm about to knock my mic off. The strategy. Okay. So you mark out that first 5-minute candle. Okay. So you mark out the first 5-minute candle right here. Once that closes, you go to the lower time frame. Then you just wait for the market to break through this level, but not with wicks. Okay. You don't need just a wick. You also need more than just a candle closure. So this little thing right here doesn't count. Okay. You need a fair value gap. Now, as soon as you have a fair value gap, and if you don't know what that means, okay, fair value gap is just the gap between these candles. So it's an expansive, see, there's a blue shaded zone right here. If you look at these candles up here, there's no gaps between the wicks. It's all covered, right? But right here, there's that gap. That shows that sellers are very strongly in control. And since we know that the most amount of volume occurs in this first 5 minutes, under that, everybody who is buying is wrong. So they're going to say, screw this, I want to get out of my trade. And when they sell, when they exit a buy, it's the equivalent of a sell. So when you see that, you're going to see that gap. You're going to see the market rush and move very quickly and leave an imbalance in the market. And once you see that, that is when you are going to enter your trade. You put your stop under the first candle in the gap. And for the target, this was the question, for the target, you just go for the fixed 2-to-1, unless you have the execution secret that I went over earlier, which we'll cover that example one last time. So this will be cool for you guys who didn't show up on time. Just kidding. I know you guys have lives outside of this, hopefully. I know that I didn't when I was trading, but anyways, which isn't healthy. I joke, but it's not healthy. That makes you a worse trader. But anyways, after that, you enter the trade. You have a fixed 2-to-1 risk to reward, meaning that your target is 2 times the distance from your stop. The way you find this is you go over here, you click this, click the short position, and you're going to have this tool right here, and you just extend it. If I could move it because it's not, this thing will mess it up. But you enter the market. This is showing where your entry is. This is showing where you want to get out of the market if you're wrong. So you place your stop loss up there. And then for your risk to reward, you go to a 2-to-1, meaning that your target is twice the distance as your stop. In other words, you'll make twice as much money on your winning trades as you would lose on your losing trades. So right here, you see you have $725 at risk to make $1,445. At that time, if you don't have a consistency gap, meaning notice how this gap formed, and we're going to come back to this later, you would just go for the fixed 2R. Okay, so you go for fixed 2R, let the market do its thing. It hits in just a couple of minutes. Now, let's go over to another example to where you guys can get a lot more out of these trades. Okay, let me go. Actually, I think you have to do it like this. So let's go to here. Now let's go to, these are all examples from this week. If you guys weren't here, we literally traded this together over the last week and showed you guys just how profitable it was over the last week. 3 days in a row, 3 wins. So let's wait until 9:30. Remember, we're waiting until 9:30 EST. So you traded the same exact time every single day. Mark this out. So once that first candle forms, see, it's 9:30. That first candle has formed, okay? You're going to mark out the high, mark out the low, just like this. We're on the 5-minute chart right now. You go to your 1 minute, boom, and you're going to wait for a fair value gap, just like last time. As you notice, we have a fair value gap pretty instantly. Now, why is this a fair value gap? Again, because you have a gap between candle 1 and candle 3. So right here, at that time, there's something important to notice. Now, at the last one, if you notice, not all 3 candles were the same color. In this one, all 3 candles are the same color. So we're going to do this a little differently in terms of letting our winners run, because we know that this is likely to give us a little bit of an edge. And another thing that you can do as well, once you have the AI, is if you know the day is going to be very bullish, you can let your winners run a little longer as well and do this. This is just a method to let your winners run without increasing your risk, okay? So you're going to still mark this out as if you were going to go for a 2-to-1 risk to reward, because we know based on the data that that's probable to happen. So you can enter the market, you place your stops always, no matter how confident you are in a setup, you always place your stops because nothing is 100%. And then you're going to wait for the market to get up to this level. And this one's a little slower moving. It takes, this is on a 1-minute chart, so each candle is 1 minute. It takes about an hour to get there. So once the market gets up and hits this level though, once you hit into that 2-to-1, instead of just taking profits, what you're going to do is you're going to trail up your stop loss, okay? So you trail it up to that candle. So this way, worst case scenario, instead of just taking profits right here, you only miss a couple points, okay? You only miss a very small part of the move. But you open yourself up to a lot more profits, okay? So once the market makes a little pivot, like you see right here, You're going to move your stops up again. So you're just trailing your stops up very aggressively, making sure you protect your downside, but you're allowing yourself to get more profits. And then you keep doing the same thing. Move your stops up again. All right. Notice how much extra profits we're adding. If you guys could do this, then on all of your winning trades that go past the take profit, how many times has that happened? You hit the target, maybe this strategy, maybe another strategy. Hell, you can use this is a way that you can manage risk and get more out of winning trades. And that's why I say there's more to it. Like let's say if you're using the AI and you have a lot of odds showing that the day is going to be bullish. You have a strongly bullish day. Okay. Then you go in and talk to your coach, your trading coach, the AI, and then it tells you, yes, this is a valid setup. Okay. And you know that there's the 3 fair value gaps, or I'm sorry, the 3 candles are the same color in the fair value gap. You would know, okay, cool. This is one I want to let run a little longer. Right. And whenever you're able to get more out of your winning trades like that, it makes a world of difference in long-term performance. Okay. So if you go right here, put that right there, keep trailing it up. Eventually it's going to come down and take it out. As you can see right here, it does. But you went from getting 2R to 2.6R. That's almost a 30% increase on the amount of profits you net on that one trade. That might not sound sexy. Look, I'm not here to sell you some like fucking insane, you're going to get a Lamborghini overnight bullshit, okay? I'm here to do these micro changes that actually teach you how to trade like a professional and the secrets and stuff that I haven't showed before that will make a huge impact. I could have came on here today and showed you some crazy strategy and told you the fucking algorithm builds it. And this is, no, I'm not here to do that. I'm a no nonsense kind of guy. I just like to show what's worked for me and share it with you guys. Because at the end of the day, yes, obviously I sell stuff. A lot of people hate when people sell education. I've never understood it because I do also put a tremendous amount of stuff out there for free. And I know that if the stuff that I give you for free right now can make a huge impact, then I've done my job. I've made an impact on you for free. Maybe you end up deciding to come back and work directly with me. Maybe not. At the end of the day, there's no way. And I don't even work with that many people. I wouldn't work with, there's what in my whole audience, 1 million people by now. Like it's like 370 on YouTube, 330. There's like something like 700, 800. But my goal here is just to make as much of a positive impact and share stuff that I wish I would have had whenever I came up trading. So how to move the line, you literally just click and drag it. And it's like, okay, so like, for example, right here, as soon as you hit, like as soon as that level hit, you take your stop loss, you click and drag it, and you would drag it here, drag it here. Once you have a pivot, drag it there, and you just keep dragging it up each candle. So cool, guys. I'm going to be hopping off here in the next minute or two. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up. This is going to be the last chance you're going to be able to get this offer. So if you want, there's the split payment. You can also do the main one, which should still be pinned to chat, which is the $14.97. Gets you the Smart Trader AI, everything else that we talked about. Go back through everything. Gives you the complete Smart Trading Blueprint course that anybody else has paid $6,800 for. This gives you a proven path, all the videos, the same method that over 2,000 people have used to get funded with prop firms. Gives you a deep understanding, goes way deeper than anything that we would physically have time for today. Helps you execute this simple and repeatable process. And then you get lifetime access to the AI, which after this, you guys get it lifetime today. But after this, it will be a minimum of $3,000 and it won't even be lifetime. But you guys get both of these things. That's over a $10,000 value for $1,500 today. And on top of that, you get a one-on-one strategy optimization call. So before you place your first trade, you're going to have a private session with one of my top coaches to give you a 90-day roadmap to getting funded. And of course, to top all this off, it is backed with a guarantee. That way, this makes this an absolute no-brainer, but also make sure that you do everything you need to do in order to be successful, because my client success is everything, the backbone of what I've built with Smart Trading Blueprint. And undoubtedly, we are the #1 trading education company in the world. There's no one who even fucking comes close. No one is doing the stuff we're doing. So I made this guarantee not just to make it a no-brainer, to make the offer better, but to make sure that you actually do everything you need to do in order to be successful. So if you complete the entire curriculum, use the AI tools daily, log at least 50 trades in the AI performance journal, and you still don't receive your first prop firm payout within 90 days, I will buy your next prop firm challenge for you personally with money out of my pocket. That is how confident I am that if you do the work, you will get results. So I'm going to put there's two links. There's one on the screen now. It's learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. It's $14.97. And again, this is the only time you're ever going to get this. I get a lot of questions now. Is this going to be monthly? When is this available? This today is only the opportunity you're going to have to get this. $14.97 at learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. If you want to break it up into payments of $300 a month, learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. It's on your screen, /split, and it'll break it up into payments. Also, if we could drop that giveaway link one last time. There it is in the chat. So that giveaway is how you're going to apply to be one of the 3 people who wins $1,000 each. So we're giving away $3,000 total and 20 prop firm accounts. Do you only trade one time a day? Yeah, I trade the market open. Can you explain more about the prop firm and getting funded? As a beginner, what do I need to do? Yeah, so it's really simple. Essentially, you just go to one of these prop firms and you just buy a challenge. And basically, when you buy that challenge, you pay anywhere from like $30 and up. And it's a monthly subscription. You pay like $30. And then once you do that, you're going to have something that you link into your trading view. You're going to have a trading account. So you'd like trade just like I was doing, but it would be linked to something. And if you can hit a profit target without hitting the drawdown, like without losing too much money, then you will unlock their capital to trade with, right? So you're trading, think of it like you're trading on a sim account that's not your real money. You paid for this sim account. And then once you're able to prove that you can trade, then you're able to keep 80 to 90% of whatever account balance increase you have. So if you have, let's say if you have if you spend about $550, okay, you can get $250K in funding. Now, if you make a profitable trade on that, it's about $5,000 in profit using this risk management that we're talking about today. Now, if you were able to keep 80% of that, or 90, depending on the firm, but we'll say 80, that'd be $4,000, right? Now, I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're going to instantly go and do that overnight. Obviously, it's going to take you some time. You have to pass the challenge. You might blow one, okay? That's the truth of it, okay? I'm not going to sit here and tell you you're never going to fail. That'd be so dishonest. There's a good chance you might fail a couple. Might cost you a couple $100. Now, you can go with smaller challenges that only cost you $30 instead of going for one that costs you $500 while you're learning. Actually, I recommend doing that. But once you learn the process of it, it's just like trading. You're just trading and without having to risk all your own money. Because before, $30, you can't do shit with $30. There's no way. Will it be available in like 6 months? No, it will not. Like I said, guys, as you guys have known me and been in my audience for a while, I'm not one of those guys who peddles. Like you see most of these guys out here selling some cheap fucking Discord where they just throw a fuckload of people for $40 a month and it's just toxic. I hate that shit. It's like a bad taste. It's like smells bad digitally to me. I hate that shit. I'll never do that ever in a million years. Because why? You attract a bunch of people who aren't fucking serious. That's the truth. That is just 100% truth. So that's why I don't try to go mass market with my shit. I could care less. At the end of the day, before I would do that, I would just trade and fucking live in solace. There would be no point in that for me. Because at that point, I can just do what I'm doing for free on YouTube. I have literally dozens, if not over 100 hours of content for free online. Putting it all out there, right? It's like, so it's not going to be available after today. So I'm about to get off, guys. Again, the link, I'm going to drop them one last time. There's the split link. There's a Learn.Smart Trading Blueprint, which is the $14.97. The split allows you to split it up into payments of $300. I'm going to go through one last time and answer some questions. So you guys want to see a demo? Let's see that one. Let's go over here. So this is one of the things right here. This is going to be the AI where you can go in and ask it anything you want. You can start a bunch of assessments that are going to take you down different learning activities. These are all things that me and my quant have personally engineered. It's going to recommend them for you based after you go through your onboarding. It analyzes you. It'll also analyze all your trades. This is where you're going to have access to the AI. The trader dashboard is where you're going to be able to log all of your profit. You're going to be able to look at everything 7 days, today, last 30 days, all time, whatever you're going to look at. It's going to have a lot of stuff. We're going to be continuously updating all this too and making it even cooler. You got your pre-market review, post-market review, trade journal. All of this goes into making sure that you are aware of your process and you're doing the right things. Okay. This is my account. I'm not using this. This is for the demo. But if you have the recent trades in here, trade reviews, all this good stuff, then you have the market snapshot, which today it's Sunday. You can go back and test this on whatever, but it'll tell you, okay, cool. This day was neutral bullish. There's going to be strongly bullish. There's a lot of different stuff, guys. You have all the access to all of the course material. I mean, there's a ton of stuff you can go through. There's exams, quizzes, everything that you need to become successful. And there's dozens and dozens of videos you can go through. This is the same stuff that other people paid $6,800 for, right? You're not getting the full mentorship. Okay, I want to be clear. You're not getting in to the full one-on-one mentorship. This is an offer that is only available today. I'm not going to be selling this anywhere else ever again. I just wanted to give you guys an opportunity to use this because this system was so fucking badass that I knew 100% this is going to change trading forever. There's also the Enigma calculator, which you could go in, you input all of your data. So let's say if you said, okay, cool. Well, I've got a 60% win rate. I'm trading on a prop firm that has a $4,500 drawdown. Your account size, let's just say we'll say 100K. You could name your account, do whatever you want. Now you pick your experience level, pick what trading session, whether you trade London, New York, Asia, how many trades you take a week. And the AI is going to also use your data in this as well. Average trade duration, which you'll have from the AI. So you submit and it's going to tell you. A lot of times people don't realize that they're not risking enough or they might be risking too much. So if you had, let's say, a 60% win rate and an average 3-to-1 risk to reward, you should actually risk more than just some small amount. Right? So I could go way deeper into all this. There's going to be a ton of stuff in here. But that was a quick little preview that you guys can get. The giveaway again is posted. You guys are killing me. The giveaway we've posted in the chat. Okay, we're gonna post it one last time. Please, somebody post the giveaway because people are gonna be like, dude, he didn't do the giveaway. And then for the giveaway, I'm going to announce it on Friday. So that's when the giveaway winners are going to be announced. And it'll be the 20 prop firm account, not to one person. We're going to give away 20 prop firm accounts to 20 different people. And then we're going to give away $1,000 to 3 different people. No, I'm not copy trading. Holy fuck. Okay, please. Let me just say this too. There's a ton of fucking fake Casper people on social media. If you guys haven't figured this out already, there are a tremendous amount of fake Caspers. Okay. If you type in Casper on Instagram, there's going to be fucking Caspar99. There's a bunch of fake ones. I don't do copy trading. I don't take crypto investments. I will not message you and ask you for fucking money to invest in a crypto fund. Okay. I will not do that. That will never be me. That is not me. If anyone is doing that, please do not get scammed. Okay. Please don't get scammed. Drop the Apex codes here. You have to apply for the form, and we're not getting them out till Friday. Apex doesn't work in Nigeria. Is there any alternative? Yeah, man. If you win and you're from a country where it doesn't work, I'll make sure to take care of you. You have my word, 100%. Can we pay a deposit? No, I mean, there's no, I'm just, again, like, I get it. There's going to be logistical issues. That's why we offered the, where you can break it up into $300 payments. But we got to get it today. We got to make, because the main reason for this is because, again, I'm not going to be doing this offer ever again. I don't do offers like this. Like, you guys are never going to see me ever out here doing some mass market offer. You guys know this if you've been in my audience for a while. I work with a very select type of person. We charge quite a bit of money and we get amazing results. That's just how I do things. A lot of people don't like me for that. I really don't give a fuck. I do what I do because I know that's how I fulfill the best. But today I wanted to give you guys access to the same exact system that they're using with the AI suite, with one call a week. A little bit of a difference, not the full mentorship, but for a fraction of the price. Is it possible to get in your live trading room access? Whenever you are on your one-on-one call, if you want to ask about that, I don't know if we're going to be still accepting any more slots or if you are going to be deemed qualified for that. Again, it's very, very, we're very selective with who we work with. Okay. It's not just for, mass market. Again, I'm not a mass market person. I don't do shit like that. I don't have the patience for it. I also don't believe that it gets results. Like go, anybody that's in here that is in STB, drop into, if somebody is, tell how different it is. Like, usually you go to trading communities, it's just like cancerous and toxic and it's just fucking terrible. It's just not good, right? Because a lot of people aren't serious. They're just gambling. They impulse bought a $40 product. And that's why those people, like, if you took this percentage of people that are successful out of there, very, very few, very few. It's usually just a bunch of people arguing, which I fucking hate. I have no patience for that. I will not you shouldn't put yourself in those environments either. You're better off trading on your own. Like, genuinely, you're better off trading on your own. Will you email the winners? Yeah, email and text and everything. So there you go. The best. Spent over 10K euros. Hands down the best. If you're in Thailand on Friday, you'll still get that. We're going to still email you. You got internet out there. Do you have to trade with a prop firm? No, you do not. You absolutely do not. Prop firms are just great tools if you don't want to risk your own capital and you don't have much and you want to go from, trading some of these cheaper accounts. You 100%, your goal at some point should be to trade your own capital, for sure. Is the AI lifetime? Yes, the AI is lifetime today. The only time you're going to get a lifetime is today. Any other time that it's going to be released, it's going to be $3,000 a year. And I'm not even sure if I'm going to do that, honestly. I say that the only reason I even say the 3,000 is because if I change my mind right now, I don't want to do it. But if I tell you, I'm never going to sit there and bullshit you. I'm not going to tell you, oh, it'll never be available again. Because truth be told, maybe for $3,000 at one point, but it's never going to be available for the same offer as you're getting today. No, you do not get access to the full mentorship for the $14.97. That would not be fair to my mentorship clients. They're already going to be mad at me for giving away as much as I've given to you. But I wanted to give everybody an opportunity because I know not everybody is at that level yet. Because now I actually have the bandwidth to. Now I have this AI assistant who you literally can download me into your corner and I don't have to spend all my time with you. There's no way I could help this many people one-on-one. There's no fucking way. Am I taking only one trade per day? No, sometimes I'll take two. And look, guys, let me be 100% candid with you. Am I going to sit here and tell you that there is no level of like expertise? Like, if I'd been trading for fucking 9 years and I would tell you that, oh, like, I don't ever use discretion, you probably should be pretty weary because you'd have to be a fucking idiot to trade for 9 years and not have at least some level of discretion. And before today, I would have had to tell you that if you would ask me that, all of the things that the AI tool can help you with, knowing when to sit out the markets, knowing which markets to trade, knowing all these things like that is the gap between information and execution. And usually it's years of experience to close that gap. If you would ask me before I had this tool, how do you know this? I'd say, dude, you got to fucking put in your time. And I'm not going to sit there and say you don't have to still put in time. You still got to put in time. It's not like the AI is some trading bot that's going to make you instantly profitable. It's not. You're going to have to still put on the work. Okay. I'm not here to sell you a fucking dream or get rich quick scheme or some snake oil bullshit. You're going to have to still show up and do the work. That's why I have the guarantee in place to make sure that you actually do it, to make sure that you go through. So I can say, look at all these fucking people I made successful. Look at all these people I made successful. How do you decide how many contracts you trade? So that would tell you if you look in here, so if we go back to Enigma, let's say if you had a $2,100 risk, well, NASDAQ's $20 a point. So you would know like, okay, and you could change this down here. This is on oil. You could change it to whatever, right? So I could say NASDAQ. Cool. NASDAQ, you have $20 point value, right? And we're going to be adding a calculator in for this. And that's another thing too. I'm not going to get too much into it. What you see here is just the fucking beginning. This is the beginning. We're already working on some really cool shit. Because like I said, I've been testing this with my inner circle of traders to make sure that it worked. That's where you saw the success that those traders were having using it. And I've already realized some other really fucking cool things that I'm going to implement. That I don't talk about things before I do them too much, like specifically, because my dad taught me when I was growing up, you got to make moves and then let everybody figure out later. Just like today. How many of you guys expected this today? You didn't see me posting, hey, I'm going to launch an AI course or AIX. No, I didn't. I don't give a shit about that. I just want to go on here, give a bunch of value. A lot of you guys who are new to me, you got to know me pretty well. How many of you guys were new to me and now you feel like you know me? I feel like just reading some of you guys in the chat. I know some of you guys just as one message because you've copied and pasted fucking 700 times. But I did this so I could spend a ton of time with you guys, get to know you guys, let you get to know me, and hopefully make an impact in your trading, whether or not you sign up for this. Because truth be told, guys, am I going to be just forever? Like, I'm going to be on YouTube. I'm going to be posting value. I'm going to be giving value until the day I fucking die. I don't believe in retirement. That shit's stupid. I love what I do. Why the fuck would I retire? A lot of people ask this. If you were a profitable trader, why would you be doing YouTube? I'm like, yeah, I just want to become a profitable trader and sit in a fucking hole like a loser. What kind of fucking loser would not want to do anything with their life past that? It doesn't have to be, content, obviously. Maybe it's just being more present in your relationship. Maybe it's something else. I don't know. Everybody has their thing. My thing is making an impact on people. That's what gives me true fulfillment. First, you take care of your family, then you should try to make an impact on the world. That's, I feel like, the only way that any human is truly fulfilled. Side note on some philosophy there. How real time is the market snapshot? It updates every day. It's going to update around 5 a.m. Bro, for the secret entry. Yeah, so the way that I was holding the stop loss longer here was that these 3 candles were all the same color. So instead of just taking profit at the 2-to-1 risk to reward right there, at 2-to-1 risk to reward. So instead of just taking profit right there, I trailed up my stop, each candles, right? So that way you can get more out of the trade. And then the rest is using the daily snapshot, understanding whenever, like for example, let's say if you have the daily telling you strongly bullish, cool, you can hold onto your trades longer. You can start, and this is all the stuff you're going to learn in the program. There's ways to even get harder or get farther than this. And you go like, for example, maybe you targeted some relative equal highs. Maybe you targeted a fair value gap. There's other things you can do to get more, but you don't necessarily need all that. I like to put it like this. Like, I give you everything you need in order to win on YouTube on calls like this for free today. But it's up to you to go in the wild and actually implement it. That's why I believe that information should not be sold. Implementation is the only thing that is rightful to be sold in trading. Because if you just give people information, I don't believe that is, I just don't believe it's going to work. And I know that's what most, like, for example, go look at all these like gurus that do that. Find me any of their profitable traders that aren't their best friend or something, right? You can go out and find tremendous amounts of people who've had crazy success with STB. Crazy success all over the world, all different types of people, single moms, people who went through all sorts of fucked up shit, old people, And no disrespect, I love my elderly clients, and you guys love me too. But if somebody who's 70 can do this, what the fuck is your excuse? Most people who are 70 can't even work a phone to its fullest. I mean, that's what happens whenever you actually have a simple system that's clear and easy to spot. You know what you're going to the market with. You have a guide to make sure you execute it. You have all of your data in a way where you can actually use it, not just writing down on a notebook. You actually have AI that is accessing it and saying, hey, look, we notice this pattern here. If you would have just done this differently, then you would have been able to get this much more profits. This is your plan to execute it. Do you commit to this? Then you're going to go put it in your replay or in your recap and your pre-market plan. These are the actions that make you profitable. No, there are no giveaways of the software. There will never, ever be a giveaway of that. It's not fair to the people who pay for it. I don't have the mentorship, but I'm buying the AI. Is it still worth it? You definitely want to use the AI with the course and the videos, to be clear, and the information. But yeah, absolutely. I wouldn't fucking sell it if it wasn't worth it. I don't want my brand to have any bad names on it. Like I don't like, you can go look at anything about me, unless it's just some hater that's like made some stupid video or something. But if you look at the actual people who fucking give me money that I've worked with, they're all going to tell you the same thing, that I go hard as fuck for my people. I'm not going to sit here and sell you that, oh, every day that I just go off and fucking go to Rome and get in the lamp. I work my fucking ass off every day. That's what I fucking do. And I love it. I love it. I could just fuck off. I could fuck off, delete my YouTube and do everything for the rest of the time. But I don't want to do that. Why? Because I like making an impact. And in order for me to make an impact, I have to have a good business that people trust me. That's why you see so many people who've popped in the chat even today. There's one right now, Jeff. And this is somebody who's been with me. Jeff was one of my first mentorship clients. I remember the day when I literally hopped on a Zoom call with him and he was sitting there and we chatted for a second. This was whenever my mentorship was way cheaper than it is now, because I've extensively raised the price to try to limit the amount of people that get in. That was years ago. And he's still here, still showing up, still going hard. How many stops can you take a day? 2. Jesse, I have a question. Is it wise to take prop firm challenge in December or January, since the market is sometimes slow? I think it just depends on when. Like I would say to try to do it sooner than later, like right after Thanksgiving at the latest. And just here's the thing. Like, what would be the reason it would be bad? Is you just have to wait to trade. You might end up paying an extra subscription fee. But here's my advice. And not advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I hate that word in this niche. This is what I would do. You do whatever the fuck you want. Contact your CPA, your local tax guy. I ain't him. But this is what I would do. I've learned that the most important thing, whether it's in trading, whether it's in life, whether it's going to the gym, whether it's trying to make amends with something that you fucked up, whatever it is, because I've done it all. The first and most important fucking thing you have to do is just start moving. Start fucking moving right now. Don't fucking think about it and say, oh, but like, it's what? Maybe buy a cheaper account. What is the objection? Oh, well, it's a $50 account. Buy a $30 one. If you can't afford an extra $30, maybe you shouldn't trade. And maybe you end up wasting $30. But guess what you did? You took the first fucking step to moving in the right direction. And that is the difference between how poor people think and how rich people think. And that's just the truth. I used to think like a poor person. I used to think in a scarcity mindset. I used to think about, oh, what if I could get a better deal? What risk does it? No, that is not how people fucking think who win. It's not. It never fucking will be. The people who win are the people who fucking take action. The people who win are the ones who figure out what is the least amount of investment, whether it's time, whether it's money, whether it's emotion, whatever, to get yourself fucking started. When I was fat as fuck, how many of you guys have been following me? Remember I was fat as fuck? I was 260 pounds. Right now, I weigh about 195 pounds. That wasn't even 3 years ago. You know what I fucking did? I got my fucking fat ass up. I put trash bags on and ran my fat ass down the fucking road. I couldn't even run a half mile, but I did it. But I fucking did it. And next week, I ran 0.6. And next week after that, I ran 0.7 and 0.8 and 0.9 until I was getting to run 3-5 miles at a time. And you know why I was able to do it is not because it was easy. It's not because I was able to just up and do it like I was some fucking superhero. No, it's because I did the simple thing. I stopped fucking thinking and I fucking pulled the trigger. And that is the difference between people who stay stuck and end up on their deathbed wishing they would have taken more risks and people who win in life. It has nothing to fucking do with a fucking box on a screen or a fucking trade or anything. It has to do with who you are. Shout out to Ben. He said, bro, I just back tested your strategy. I got 5. Oh, it's cool. I can click it and it pops up. What the fuck? I did not know that. Bro, I just back test strategy. I got 5 for 5. What the hell? I love it. Let's go, dude. We literally back test this whole week. And that's another thing. Like, how could I, like, I was going to do this whether or not it was a win or a loss, just to show you guys and walk you through it. But that's just, like, that's how it goes when you have a good strategy. It's not going to be 100% win rate all the time. I want to be clear. How do we split the payments up? 14. If you want to do the split, the link is on the screen. learn.smarttradingblueprint.com/split. That is the split into 300. Now, if you want to do it paid in full, which is $14.97, it is the learn.smarttradingblueprint.com. That is what you see on your screen now. That is to pay in full. This, the same link with /split, is to break it up into payments of $300. You do pay $17.50 instead of $14.97. I'm not getting the extra money. We have to pay a fee for Split It. Split It is the provider that allows you to split up your card. Here's another one. I've back tested on US 30 for the last 6 weeks. It does work. That's fucking sick. Let me ask you, are you just starting since we've been on the call? This guy literally went back. There's no way. There's no way. He probably has been a member for the audience for a while. Well, buying the AI, get me in the Discord community. That's what I want to do with the AI while I get in the Discord. You will get a Discord channel by tomorrow if you haven't got it already. But that's not the full mentorship. I want to be clear. It's not going to be the full mentorship where, you know, there's no way I'm going to be able to sell what I sell for way more money than $14.97. But I've given you guys an access to get the same curriculum they get, the AI suite, but at a fraction of the price. That's why it's only available today. I've literally got a call with them in an hour and a half that I'm going to hop on. All right, so I'm going to go through this one last time because I know there are a couple people asking questions. And then after this is over, I am going to hop off and we're going to be done for the day. So we're going to walk through this one final time. And after this is over, after today, this will never be available again. Okay? So we're going to go through it. Please pay attention. This will answer any questions you have. We have an option, like I've said, it's on your screen. You can break your investment up into payments of $300. Now, the foundation, this is what you get. Okay, this is everything you get included in signing up today. You get the complete trading course that my mentorship students paid $6,800 to receive. This course does 5 things for you. Number 1, it gives you one proven path. That way you're not hopping between strategies to strategies, and you only have one strategy, which is the last one you'll ever need. Number 2, you get a battle tested and proven process that over 2,184 students have used to try to get funded with prop firms. Number 3, you get a deep understanding, not just simple rules that you learn on YouTube. You'll learn how to see the market in the way that I see it, not just some blind signals. Number 4, you have a simple and repeatable process, the 3-step system that turns trading from a chaotic gamble into a predictable business. And last but not least, the foundation that makes the AI powerful. The course is the map, the AI is the vehicle. You need both, which is why I'm giving it to you today as a bundle instead of what it will be in the future with the app itself. Smart Trader AI, if I ever even sell it again by itself, will be $3,000 for a 1-year membership, and then after that, monthly. Today, you guys are getting lifetime access for not even a fraction of that price. Now, Smart Trader AI does a lot of different stuff, but mainly 3 things that make flawless execution inevitable. It eliminates emotion from your trading. It gives you instant clarity every single day. It finds the patterns that you can't see, and it fixes them fast. Now, you also get a one-on-one strategy optimization call. So that way, before you go out into the wild, you have a private strategy session with one of my personal coaches. This typically costs $500, but today, only today when you join, you will get this for free. And of course, last but not least, this is all covered by our guarantee to make this an absolute no-brainer. If you complete the entire Smart Trading Blueprint curriculum, use the AI tools daily, log at least 50 trades in the AI Performance Journal, and you still don't receive your first prop firm payout within 90 days, I will personally buy your next prop firm challenge for you. That is how confident I am that if you do the work, you'll get results. And again, the reason for this guarantee is not only to make this a no-brainer, but to make sure that you actually use the tools as directed so you get results, because it is important to me to make an impact, because I need people who go out, use what I create, and have a good experience. That is in my best interest, so I want to guide you to do that. As you see, a ton of people have made insane gains with this. I'm going to save you the time of going back through all these fucking success stories. And I just want to thank you guys so much for attending today. So I'm going to have the giveaway link, if you didn't get it, is going to be dropped. And I'm hopping off, guys. I'll leave the links here for a second. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here. And I'll see you guys later.